Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Co-Optional podcast for the 9th of September? Yeah, it's September 2014.
Hello.
There we go. I can read a calendar. It's wonderful. It is wonderful. We have yet another show for you. I'm not going to say we have a great show for you because I don't really know if we do. We might. It's possible.
There's potential there.
Yeah, there's always going to be the potential of a great show, but I just don't want to let you guys down. Really, I have your emotions at heart. Your feelings.
How low should we set expectations?
Lies. This is all lies.
Well, I mean, we set them deliberately low by inviting Unit Lost Tube onto the show. Welcome.
Whoa.
Straight away with the abuse.
Whoa. You could have at least given us 5 minutes.
Come on. You know better than that.
Need.
You need to be prepared for this. You're diving right in with the sharks here. We got both Tom and John, a.k.a. Stylosa, and Kirioth from Unit Lost Tube. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Jesse's not here. He ran off. Yeah. He's doing some event up in Anaheim, I believe, for the next couple of days.
Ooh.
It never ends. He says, it's the end of the convention season. I could finally... And then... Not.
And then he's gone again.
He's gone again. Ooh. He's run off. Yep. He is run off. Incidentally, none of the audio crackling information is helpful. It's probably gone away by now. So there you go. That's always the case.
That's okay, because we get to have both of you in your own screens.
Oh, true.
That
was kind of creepy. That was...
I don't know. I'm not stuck in the corner like some sort of iPad goblin trapped in the corner of the room. Desperately sort of trying not to be in frame and yet not able to go anywhere else.
I feel I should apologise as well to the mods in the chat, because I can see a lot of our Twitch subscribers are just spamming the chat with the little cabbage emote that we've got.
Cabbages?
I can only
cabbage emote? Wait, I have to go look.
I don't know what's up with the cabbages. But frankly,
it's a long story.
if you give emotes to people, they will spam them, unfortunately.
It's true.
That's just the way that it works. Not 100% sure why that is.
Oh, there they are. Aw, they're cute. Look at those cute little cabbages.
They don't have any identifiable characteristics. How are they cute? They're just cabbages.
Because they're little baby vegetables.
What? Cute. They look like Brussels sprouts, and everyone knows that Brussels sprouts are the enemy.
No, Brussels sprouts are like one of the best vegetables ever.
Nice. Oh dear.
Yeah, so good.
You can't be dissing the Brussels sprouts. That's not.
I feel like I'm being ganged up on here.
3 against 1. 3 against 1.
And the person who's instigating it is, of course, Dodger. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. Delighted to be here. Con season is actually over for me. I'm not a big fat liar like Jesse is. But hello. Delighted to be here.
That's lovely, isn't it?
I'm wearing a camo shirt made of cats.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if you were going to try and find something to disguise yourself within your house, that would be the best possible option, I think.
It's true. That is very true.
It was adopted for the military for very specific fields of war.
Only cat ladies.
Yeah.
Just only cat lady infiltrations.
Specific parts of urban warfare, and it's very niche. Only certain units issued this camo.
I'm pretty sure there's a place in Japan that is overrun by cats to the point no one can live there. Was it developed for that?
All of Japan
that would be absolutely. Is it all? Well, it might be all of it.
No, then you just take them to your cat cafe, right? Then you just start up a cat cafe and bring all the strays inside.
Yep. That's not a thing, is it? Is it?
What? It is. Yeah. It's where you have a cafe and there are little cats that like walk all over the place, and you can go in there, you can get yourself some tea or some coffee, and then you sit and pet cats and they like snuggle you and stuff.
Yeah, they have that.
It's called a cat cafe.
Yep.
You should look it up. Gaggle that.
For some reason, that just seems terrifying for some reason. I don't know why. What if one of them loses it and sets off all the others? You'd just be in a whirlwind of teeth and claws.
Speaking from personal experience, though, there, Mr. Curie.
Well, yeah,
with your cat, which was a violent cat, and it was. What was it? It was a.
It was a Bengal.
Bengal. It was massive. It was like a tiger.
Yeah, it was pretty big, and it was also like brain damaged. But we didn't know it was brain damaged until it snuck into someone's house and assaulted them so badly they ended up in hospital.
What?
It was terrible. This one. Yeah, it attacked me as well. It attacked.
I'm imagining your cat like putting on spy gear and like sneaking into the house and being like.
It was a really cute cat. And it was really pale and really nice, and it would go to sleep on you. But every time we went outside, it got stuck in fight or flight mode, but it didn't know how to run away, so it just fought everything. And at one point, it went into someone's kitchen, attacked their dog and their cat and their kitten, And then when they intervened to try and stop our cat from assaulting all their pets, he scratched them and bit them so badly they had to go to hospital. So we do not have that cat anymore. That cat's gone.
I'm assuming that did not last very long.
That was the last straw for that cat because apparently you're not allowed to have like vicious animals that will roam into other people's houses and hospitalise them. Who knew?
Yeah, strangely enough, some countries do have laws against that. I know it's a bit weird, but they do.
I assume the cats in cat cafes are rather gentle, sweet animals.
Slightly less maladjusted and
as far as you're aware. I wonder what kind of
don't
psychological test you have to put the cats through in order to put them in a cat cafe.
Literally just wondering that. How do you make
do they
sure
just,
that the cat's going to
wire them up
what?
to a lie detector? Just like, please state your name for the record. Meow.
Wire them up, shock them, and if they don't scratch you, they're clear to go into the cafe because nothing is going to irritate them.
We're going to ask you a series of control questions. I don't want to go into a cat cafe.
all of us to talk about cats for so long.
All right, that was
God, it all worked out.
I have a feeling that you're given a secret piece of paper before every show with a series of objectives on it. You don't tell anybody else what those objectives are, but you attempt to achieve them regardless without our knowledge. And it just sounds like you're coming up with random bullshit and being awful,
right.
But really, you actually had a plan all along. I'm not sure if that makes you a better or worse person.
My number one goal on the list every week is for you to point out that I'm eating in an irritated manner.
Yes, pretty much.
And you follow through pretty much every time.
What can I say? I'm consistent.
So, yeah.
Welcome to the Co-optional Podcast. We do occasionally talk about video games. Coming up in the show, we'll be talking about the games that we have been playing this week, after which point we will most likely have a break, and then we'll be talking about a little bit of news. I imagine Destiny is going to come up quite a bit, since that is the new hotness at the moment, at least for those that play on consoles. And we might even talk about other news. We might talk about certain iconic fighting game characters being locked behind pre-order DLC. Sure, that'll be a fun time. And then we'll wrap up with things like releases and then tell you to go to our channels because we want money from you. Or more specifically, we want money from advertisers by selling you out to them. That's
Don't tell them.
I'm a transparent
You're
individual.
awful shills. Welcome to our show.
We are, yeah. We absolutely hate you, but if you wouldn't mind watching our ads, that would be brilliant. I only like people that watch my channel that have a sense of humor, because I don't have one, so they need one to compensate for that. All right, what have we been playing this week? Dodger, start with you. What have you been up to? What's been going on?
Play a lot of The Sims.
Okay, tell me about The Sims.
I made a beautiful home for you and Jesse. You're married.
What?
You and Jesse are married husbands, and I turned your bathroom into a gnome throne room, so it's like really long. I use you know how there's a cheat where you can take objects and make them really big. So
yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, so there's a throne room that has a unicorn carpet, and then there's a toilet at the end of the unicorn carpet, and then just giant gnomes lining the sides that stare at you while you poop. It's probably the finest thing I've ever made in any Sims game ever, so I'm really, really proud of it.
I made this... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, also the second floor has, like, bush elephants that watch over everything. It's good. It's a really good house.
I made this giant weeping willow tree that got so big it clipped into the walls, and then I did the same thing with a dinosaur. There's just this giant dinosaur, badly textured dinosaur to the left of the house that's ruining the frame rate just by being there. You must have played a decent amount of The Sims 4, right? So you've got to at least start to have some opinions about how it is, and you've played the previous Sims games as well, yeah?
I've played all of the previous ones.
Yeah,
3, I didn't play as much because it did not like my computer very much.
It didn't like many people's computers. Apparently, it had some real performance issues.
Yeah. I do really love, because I feel like 3 went a little too far in terms of customization, and then 4, they kind of scaled it back a little bit and made it a little bit more user-friendly. Like, it's actually really fun to make a person, and I didn't think it was super fun to make a person in 3. It just kind of overwhelmed me.
You think it was maybe just a little bit too much customization?
Too much. Okay. Yeah, it was a little too much. So I do like that you can go into like the community area where people have made stuff and uploaded it, and you can literally download those for free from each other. I don't like that there isn't anything so far pointing to the possibility of making your own items and being able to put them on there for free. Like that's what everybody's been wanting, is for us to kind of go back to like Sims 1, and Sims 2 is really the best Sims, but go back to that idea of being able to make your own content and really grow the community that way, where everybody is like trading with each other, like giving each other cool hair and skin tones and all of these things. Because that's what really gave it a long lifespan, was being able to go online and be like, I want to make this sort of a thing. And it was just there, like somebody had made it, you know? So I'm hoping that that gets involved with the community part of the game, that we'll be able to make our own things and interact with each other that way. But I feel like it's probably not going to happen, and that really bums me out.
The good news is that there is a mods directory within the Sims 4 folder, and they put out a couple of entries on their blog about modding. And that apparently they support it. Indeed, I think over the past couple of days, they put out a statement that claimed that the way that The Sims 4 was designed made modding easier. But I don't know just how much truth there really is to that, because I don't have any experience modding that game. It does seem like modding will be a thing, though.
Yeah. In 2, they gave you kind of a second program that came with Sims.
Okay.
So there was Sims, and then there was like the Sims modding tool that helped you like reskin stuff. Before that, you literally had to take the framework of different items and then reskin them or shift them somehow, and it was very complicated. But in 2 they tried to help you out, and in 3 they were like, never mind. It just like pissed everybody off. So now I'm hoping in 4 they like figure it out. But
it's a weird relationship, isn't it? Because it's a game that is a service platform for all of the 5,000 expansion packs that will release. Yeah. But simultaneously, if you want mod support with that, you're going to think, well, hang on a minute, isn't this taking away? Yeah. So it's a very strange situation where it's in the community's best interest to have mod support, but it's in the publisher's best interest not to. So you've got to try and make the argument to the publisher, look, mods help the lastability of your game, and you can add more features to the game via expansion packs that can then enable more modding. And we've seen that in many titles. You add that functionality in there, which isn't there before, and that allows more mods to come out, and it benefits everyone, and it keeps the game going. I don't know if EA is necessarily the company to convince of that, though.
Well, I think the thing is, it's kind of easier to just, have a furniture item pack than to kind of develop DLC, which is going to actually plug into the mod scene kind of thing. Like, I mean, let's be honest, if you're going to make a load of different types of chairs and tables and sell that for, I mean, I'm guessing it sells for quite a lot. Well, existing DLC for Sims 3, I guess that was fairly expensive.
Pricey, yeah. The stuff packs were like $10, and the expansions were more like 30 to 40. Yeah. There were a lot of them too. I think
I do know that. Sorry, keep going.
No, by all means.
I was gonna say that I know when I booted up Sims 4 the first time, it like automatically it had like 3 or 4 different pop-ups that were like, this stuff is now in the game, and this pack is now in the game,
and
this
4?
Stuff. Yeah,
well,
and I
think
was
that
like,
was the digital deluxe stuff, wasn't it? I think they had a digital deluxe
hats.
pack.
Was it hats? There was something to do with hats, wasn't there? With the digital download, the special edition.
It was like extra everything.
Which actually, by the way, on Origin, right, the standard version of The Sims 4 is limited edition. I ask you, how the hell is that a limited edition?
It's not limited to anything.
There's no
What
limit.
definition of the word limited are they using for that?
Well, you can either get deluxe or limited edition.
Or limited.
There's no normal version of The Sims 4, guys. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no.
But yeah, at first, when all that stuff came up, maybe you're right. It probably was like deluxe version stuff. But I got really excited because I thought that it was kind of showing us what it's going to be like when they add more things into the game. Because it was just like any new stuff has a little marker next to it, and you'll know that it's new. And it was just there. I didn't have to like buy it. It was just like automatically in my stuff. And I was like, oh my God, if you did this for all the shit. Like if you were like, sorry, we didn't have pools, but here we just plopped pools in there now and you have them and that's it. Like, I feel like that would it would like create so much more trust if we got some of those things like just outright because we expected them anyway. I don't know.
But the thing is, the problem with that is I can kind of see them doing that in a way to build up more trust with the consumer and trying to basically give the game a bit more life. But at the same time, it is EA. and they've not had a great record recently for kind of delivering on stuff that everyone thought they should. And a lot of the things that they've released have been okay, but at the same time, people have gone, guys, why is this broken? And the response has been, oh, yeah, we'll sort that. And then it's like a year later and very little's happened, and it's like...
Don't worry, guys, we're on it.
But, yeah, yeah, exactly. I'll get right on that, and then a year goes by and it's... So did you fix it? No, I didn't do that. Why? Because it's still broken. I don't know. It'd be good, but I'm very wary of pretty much anything EA says they'll do at the moment, just because they're just not really all that interested in keeping people happy by the look of it. They seem more driven towards either selling the game and then selling the DLC than actually getting to people to continue playing the game in big numbers. It's just, here's the initial push, here's the secondary push, and that stuff's still broken, but don't worry about it, it's fine.
It's a situation where they're creating games that are service platforms, and they're not the only company to do it, but they're certainly one of the ones that are doing it the most. And they're building games with the idea that you can keep playing, but only as long as you either give us microtransaction money or you actually buy expansions and DLC from us. And once you stop doing that, we don't really have too much of an interest in keeping the game alive. Hardline is just a prime example of that. How long did Battlefield 4 take to fix? A great example is the tick rate of the servers was broken for 8 months or something along those lines, where you got all of those mutual kills where two people would kill each other at the same time because the tick rate of the server just wasn't high enough to properly calculate who shot first. Yeah, so we just assumed they both did, and you have people dying. They've moved around a corner. It's like the good old, really old client-side hit detection problem, where you go around a corner and then die because this guy's pinging 400, and on his screen he killed you, but on your screen, who is pinging 50, you are already behind the wall in cover. It's a similar problem there. That took ages to fix, and arguably the tick rate's still not brilliant. If you tell a Counter-Strike player, oh yeah, the server has a 30 tick rate, they'll laugh at you like, 30 tick rate?
Terrible.
I'm sorry, I will not play on anything less than 1,000 FPS servers. Fuck right off, That's what a Counter-Strike player would tell you. But that is a game that is just kind of getting its final pack in the form of, I think, Last Stand, which just got a trailer today and has apparently there's mechs in it. So either that's a teaser for a new 2142,
2142.
In which case I'm very happy about that, or they're actually going to include some wackiness in that last one. And then, of course, if Hardline had stuck to its original launch date, that would have been out in 2 months. They would have just said, here's your final expansion pack for Battlefield 4, now move on to Hardline. But you just finished this one.
The thing is anyone gonna, I might seem a bit out of the loop here, but is anyone gonna buy Hardline?
I don't think so.
What the hell is that game? No. What is it?
Hang on.
It makes no sense. It's worse than all other games of its type.
Thousands of cops and robbers hate it.
I know FPS.
What are they robbing?
Just games in general.
What are they stealing?
Why is this money out in the middle of nowhere? Why do they have a tank?
It's like they're robbing an old truck for 80 grand, but there's 1,000 terrorists, and they're all using RPGs and heavy machine guns. The ammunition for which I'm assuming is quite expensive.
Where did they get this shit? Why is the helicopter got a minigun on it?
By the time they drop the truck, they're going to go home and go, well, that's $10 profit for today. What are we going to do tomorrow? It's just stupid.
It's like firing the minigun for 45 seconds cost more than all the money they stole in the first place.
Yeah. I guess the general feeling for Hardline has been, if only they didn't try to make this a Battlefield game, because it's not a Battlefield game. It's something else. That's
if only
that's
this was SWAT 5, basically.
But it either needed to be a weird DLC expansion for Battlefield 4, or it needed to be a whole new IP. That's
yeah.
Or somehow get all the rights for SWAT 5 if they don't already have it, and make SWAT 5, which was an actual game where you played the police, and it was different as a direct result. You were using police stuff like beanbag shotguns, and you weren't supposed to go around killing people. You're supposed to subdue them if possible. There was
rocking up to a crime scene with an M16 with a silencer and a scope and
1,000 other criminals as well.
And it's gold.
We're not supposed to do that?
Apparently not. But they pushed that to 2015, and of course. You can argue whether I imagine there were a number of reasons for it. One being that people were clearly not having a good reaction to the beta. That's not really unsurprisingly.
The stream's gone offline, TB.
Has it? Yeah, it just dropped for a second. It's probably it's back up now. There we go. Yeah, it went off for a second. All right. Anyway, as we're saying, it's I can't remember anyone that had a good reaction to Hardline when they played the beta. It's like, well, okay, so there's motorbikes and police cars, and this mode is slightly different to the regular Battlefield capture point stuff, but I'm using all the same guns.
Yeah.
I used all of these in Battlefield. This is the same fucking equipment. What's the difference?
You know, actually, the thing that really pissed me off about Hardline with the beta when we played it was that, yeah, you've got bikes and you've got cars. You drive past countless parked vehicles, but you can only get in the one vehicle that happened to be in your spawn area at the time.
Yeah.
And like you're driving past cars with the same model, completely undamaged, and it's like, oh shit, well this car's broke. I'll pick up that. Oh no, wait, I can't. It's just a piece of scenery, but it looks exactly the same. You're a criminal. You've turned up with like an arsenal of weaponry and a helicopter with a minigun. You can't hotwire a car to get like from point A to point B. What is that? Oh, it was irritating. It was really annoying.
That was playing out poorly.
It was a bit silly, wasn't it? It's like, if you're going to do this whole, there's a gang war on the street thing, you probably want to focus on the improvisation of the whole thing. You know, you want improvised weaponry and all sorts of things like that. But they didn't do that. They just gave you full-on military hardware from the very freaking start.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I have a game that allows military hardware, and it also has jets in it, and anti-aircraft guns, and all sorts of cool shit. And it's almost like with Hardline, they said, let's go back to the good old ideas of Bad Company 2. Except they don't know. The guy freely admitted, I think it was the CEO of DICE or someone along those lines, I have to find the quote, admitted he did not know why Bad Company was popular. He had no idea. DICE don't fucking know, supposedly.
Yeah.
Did they ask anyone? I mean, that seems to be the easiest way of finding out.
I
Because
tell you
they
what,
definitely haven't recaptured
Guys,
it.
what are your feelings
beautiful.
on Bad Company?
Yeah.
I'm going to just take notes.
Man.
Don't worry about it.
It was so much better.
You know-
it was
you
so
know
much
what I
better than
remember?
Battlefield 3 and 4.
Yeah, well, you know, Bad Company 2 multiplayer, okay, so it had quite a decent level of destruction for the time, okay, so you could collapse a lot of buildings and, you know, and stuff like that. Battlefield 3 comes out, and there's quite a lot of questions coming around, well, circulating as to where the hell is the destruction, you know, where's it gone? If it's in your previous game, you've sort of scaled it down. Like, because, I mean, what could you actually destroy in Battlefield 3? And
Not
actually,
much. You can put a few holes in walls, but you can't collapse buildings outside of
Battlefield,
outside of the preset
Battlefield 4
stuff.
had
You know,
evolution.
it's like on Caspian Border. Of course, you can knock over the big tower in the middle, but that was really about it. Whereas a level of a long match of Bad Company 2, it could end up being pretty flat because there's just like skeletons of buildings everywhere.
Yeah.
I remember Panama Canal absolutely leveling the entire map.
Oh yeah,
amazing.
I love
Absolutely
the
amazing,
one, I can't remember what it was called, but I think it was like in Russian territory or whatever, and it was in the snow, and it was...
Oh,
where
you parachute in?
I don't think it was that one. Oh, I mean, although it might be, actually, yeah. And there was this little village, and you start off urban warfare, and then the whole thing's fucking flattened by the end of it, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's like, that's...
Some of the best, like, most ridiculous moments I've had in just any first-person shooter came from that game. You'd be in a building, and you'd hear, like, the sound of a rocket, and you think, oh, God. And the next thing you know, you're dead because the building's collapsed on top of you. You had no warning. It's just, oh, shit, that noise. And that's it. You're dead. But the thing is, every time it happened, I didn't sit there and think, oh, well, that's crap. I just got killed by a building. It was, oh, wow. I tried to take cover. I got absolutely flattened by that building. It was.
It
I'm
adds
sure.
another layer to the strategy, right?
Yeah,
Just like
yeah.
trying to figure out like where you
It
should
does.
be, where you should hide, like...
You can't
just
stay in the same
hole up.
place. The front line is constantly moving based on where the cover is. And the whole evolution thing in Battlefield 4 is, for the most part, fairly binary. You know, the best example is the big skyscraper coming down. Like, so basically the map has two states. It's got that on and that off. And it's okay, that's kind of neat, I guess, but I've seen games that do that way, way better, that have, like, progressive objectives. Things like enemy territory, things like Brink, 'cause that makes you... that changes things, because it makes you move through the level, you know?
Yeah.
And Battlefield's never really been about that. But the article was from, I think it was published on IGN. Yeah, it was actually the boss of DICE, Carl Magnus Troedsen. Yeah, so basically he said... But some people say this: the Bad Company 2 multiplayer is the best you've ever played, you've ever done. It's like, okay, why is that? It's hard for people to articulate what it is, which is actually hard for us. Like, but it's not that hard to articulate why it is. The cool thing about, in my opinion, Battlefield, Bad Company 2's multiplayer, and if you want to know why Bad Company 1 was cool, by the way, it's because it did destruction before any of the other Battlefield games did, and it also had a fucking awesome single-player campaign that was funny and was interesting to play. And it was the only time Battlefield has ever done a good campaign. And then Bad Company 2 comes along and it says, hey, well, our campaign's not quite as good, but it's still a shitload better than all the others. And we're going to give you a multiplayer mode that's really focused. Like, we introduce rush mode, and we do rush mode really well. We have a series of really good maps. We take planes out of the game because we've got a much smaller focus. We've got helicopters in here, but we want this to be focused on a small number of vehicles, urban destruction, and fighting from building to building. That's what we're going to do with Bad Company 2. And that's what they did. Yeah. And then they released the different modes for each map as a bunch of free DLC, which was nice.
And Vietnam as well when that came out, which was, I think that was pretty damn good as well.
Yep. And I'd still go back to Bad Company 2 and I'd happily play it. It was a fun experience. It wasn't sprawling like Battlefield 3 and 4 were. And I'm going to be honest, I actually prefer the smaller Battlefield experiences because they're less fucking chaotic and more focused.
I can't stand massive maps on a lot of games, like especially for a first-person shooter, because I want to be in with the action. I want to be there. I want to be like right in the thick of it at all times. If something happens where you lose a spawn point or you lose something just as you die, and you've got to start right back at the very like the original spawn for your guys. I mean, a number of times in Battlefield 3 and 4, it was like, oh god, I've got to spawn back at base. And then you face like a 5-minute trek because some arsehole's taken all the vehicles.
Yeah, so even the one driving off the transport helicopter on his own.
Yeah. It's like,
well, I'm glad they put modes in. I'm glad they put functionality in that allows you to spawn in those empty things while they're flying. It's like, fuck you, guy. You ran off the transport helicopter. At least I could kind of spawn in that. But I mean, if you want, that's the reason. And the weird thing is that it's almost in conflict with what Battlefield has been trying to do. I remember back when Battlefield 2 was announced, they originally claimed that it would support up to 100 players. And then they claimed it would support 50 players. And I believe it ended up supporting 32 for the most part. And then I think there were maybe 64-player servers added in later. So it was kind of all over the place with Battlefield 2. And people were really excited about the scale of it. But for me, when I go into a 64-player server in any of the Battlefield games, I feel it's just pointless and chaotic. And unless I'm with a squad that is all working together, I don't really get much enjoyment out of it because there's 64 other guys over there. One of them's probably got a sniper rifle and it's going to pop me in the fucking head from 2 miles away. Like, well, that was fun. Can we do that? Can we, just... I've, strangely enough, have found appreciation for smaller scale shooters over the past couple of years. And I think maybe it is because I'm starting to prefer solo play a little bit more. And as a result, I want smaller scale because my individual contribution matters more.
Yeah, I think, and also something about the way that Battlefield does combat, I think, just kind of suits the smaller scale a lot better. It feels a lot more satisfying, and it feels a lot more, I guess, cooperative when you're in a good squad in a small scale map, because you can like properly, you can breach and clear out rooms, and you can actually affect the flow of the fight so much better than when you're on a massive map with vehicles and jets flying everywhere, because it's kind of easy to feel a bit insignificant as well on a huge map, like in something like BF3 or BF4.
When you get one shot by a tank shell, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, the guy in the tank's having a lot of fun. Now I'm just getting blown up.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, like, I don't even have to die to suddenly be lost and be like, where is everybody else? But there's also that sense of like, they don't need me anyway. Like...
Yeah, I won't make a difference because
when the map
players.
is big enough, it's kind of like, well, I mean, it's going to take me forever to get back over there. Like, they're probably fine.
Yeah,
I'm also really bad at shooters, just for anybody who doesn't know me out there. So.
I'm not very good at them. I like playing them, but I know very well that my job is support. That's what I'm for in shooters. So that in a way that makes it more galling than when I die, because I'm just like,
moral support.
I can't heal anyone from back here. I need to be all the way up there, for God's sake.
Yeah. Go team!
Go team! Just on the mic, like a super shitty mic, just, guys, you got this. Everybody's like,
One of those really nice ones laden with static where you can hear everything from 5 miles around. Go on, guys, do it. Oh, for fuck's sake, shut up.
Yeah, you're like a baby in the background. You're like, God, this guy just like stop talking.
Yeah, so we got there from EA and Sims.
Sims, yeah.
So, I mean, are you still having fun with The Sims, or are you burning out on it pretty fast?
No, I'm having fun with it right now. I'm having fun with it. I do want more, not more customization, like, how do I say this so that it doesn't completely shred what I said at the very beginning of this? I want things like more hairstyles and more clothing options and things like that. I don't want more customization options in terms of like, I'm trying to make your face just right. Those are two like different types of customization. I just want more like things, I guess. So
More
because
stuff. I feel that's a permanent problem with The Sims, right? Because they released The Sims as a service platform. So every time you come up with a new Sims game, you're gonna throw away a bunch of the stuff that you had in the first place. Like, every time they release a new Sims game, does it have pets in it? No. But they'll add it in future as an expansion pack. And they made this excuse, it's like, oh, well, it allows people to customize the Sims experience a la carte. It's like, yeah, but I can't customize it right now. I want pets, and you don't have a pets expansion.
yeah.
But your last 3 games had pets expansions. So, I mean, it seems like the most sensible way to play The Sims is to buy the previous one complete edition and then wait for the next one to come out. So when Sims 5 comes out, then you buy Sims 4 complete and play that. You play it a generation behind. It's just more fun that way because you get more content.
Yeah. Well, you get the people moaning, don't you? Because they've played the complete edition of Sims 3, and then it's like, where the hell is all the content in Sims 4?
It's 2 steps forward, 10 steps back, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's the whole thing with the swimming pools that people... I heard about, like... I read this article, like, wow, there's such a thing as a Sims power user. All right, okay, interesting. But apparently swimming pools were key to keeping your Sims healthy. They were, like, one of the best ways to socialize, and they took them out of the game, and apparently you can't build basements anymore. You're very limited in terms of the size of your house. The way that the lots are designed are also very limited, and a lot of the stuff is just background decoration as opposed to any real kind of interaction. I can see that being problematic, and frankly, if I was a Sims fan, which I'm not, I play some of them every now and again, I would probably be somewhat annoyed by this lack of functionality.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see. I'm hoping that it grows fast, because you're right, otherwise people are just going to be like, fuck it, I'm just going to play Sims 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a wizard because I have a magic expansion.
Yeah. Sims 2 was really good. It had a lot of stuff going for it. I didn't get Sims 2 complete for very little. Didn't they just... they gave it away for free like a couple of weeks ago, didn't they? We want to talk about EA doing things that please people. I've got to say, what they've been doing with...
Origin is pretty damn good.
Origin's getting better. It's getting a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't had a problem with it since Dead Space.
Yeah, there was the whole Dead Space 3 connection problem thing. But outside of that, Origin has put in a money-back guarantee system. They have far better support than Steam does. Like, they have actual people.
Steam has no support.
No, Steam doesn't. Yeah. Steam is like, we are the biggest games distributor online in the world. Bar none. We are bigger than all of these things. We have about 3 support staff, and most of them just send you automated fucking forms back. Origin's like, here's some free games, and our support works. Also, we have a money-back guarantee. Like, oh, all right, okay.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that you don't even have to interact to get the money to, like, send the game back if you don't need it.
No, it's
or if you
automated.
Don't like it.
It's fucking
That's
automated.
Fantastic.
That's incredible.
I have to admit, the only experience I've had with that was I bought Command & Conquer, like the complete pack.
Oh, the decade thing? Yeah.
But the thing is, before that, stupidly, I bought, I think, Command & Conquer 3. Like by itself, and I bought that without realizing that actually the pack was like a tenner more, and I had all the games.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, this is stupid. I'll send back the one I just did, and I clicked everything. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to speak to someone, and it just did it. The thing is, it took it off both. So I lost the standalone, and it took away the one I got with the pack as well.
That's
I was
weird.
like, well, hang on, what the hell's happened here? I looked at the refund thing, and it just said it had taken out, and I was like, well, it's not in my library. What's going on? I emailed support, and the guy just went, okay, yeah, I've fixed it. And I just reloaded Origin, and it was there.
All right. Thanks.
The one time I had a problem with Steam, I sent out a ticket, nothing happened for about 2 months, and the problem resolved itself without anyone saying anything. And all I got was something back saying, okay, we have received your complaint, and that's it. It's like, no, how can I help? No, what can we do about this? It was just, Steam yes, we know you have a problem. And that was the entire interaction.
It is absolute bollocks. And I'm going to be honest, like, if I look at curated libraries, I look at Origin, and then I look at Steam, I'm like, Origin seems to give way more fucks about not selling me terrible video games than Steam does.
Yeah.
And you can make the argument, oh, but they sell Need for Speed Rivals. It's locked at 30 FPS. Yeah, and that was fucking stupid, and I rimmed them for that. But the fact of the matter is, Steam has shit released daily, and it's terrible. If I were to go to Steam right now, we've actually had a good couple of weeks on Steam of actual good games coming out. But
yeah,
there is so much
rare
bad shit coming out. And sorry, I'm covering your face with my Steam client. Let's have a look at this.
Wow.
Ford Racing 3, Ford Racing Off-Road. There's 2 copies of that, by the way. There's 2 entries. Ford Racing Off-Road. They're exactly the same. Ford Street Racing. But that's really good, isn't it? Yeah, I can guarantee. That's from 2006, by the way. And who publishes it? Yes, Strategy
but there is
First.
Recycle, the garbage simulator. I bet that's pretty good.
Yeah, I have no doubt that that's absolutely fucking incredible, isn't it? I'm sorry, but Steam has some really nice functionality, but Origin as a store right now is a shitload better. And I don't think I don't think you can really argue that objectively. I don't think there's any way that you could. As I go to the front page of Origin, I only see games that are at least passively
finished
good.
For a start, maybe?
Well, I don't know about finished. Nice. They sell Battlefield 4, but...
That's true.
But, I mean, if you compare Battlefield 4 to a piece of shit like Guys of the Wolf, like, you can't make the argument that Battlefield 4 is somehow worse than that. Not even close.
The only complaint I have with Origin is the fact that any game you click on, it just defaults you to the most expensive one. But that's like a minor issue. And as you know about it, you just switch over. It's like, well... No, I'm not buying that. But part of me is still kind of like, well, I prefer to like see them in some way not selected, so I could actually just say I chose the £60 one instead of, oh shit, I hit purchase without paying attention, which I'm sure someone must have done it. Someone has to have done that at some point.
Sure. Why not? Why not? All right, anything else you played this week, Dodger?
Anything new? Not really, honestly. Kind of dropped the ball this week.
Fair enough.
I did watch Sam make his Destiny character, and man, that game was beautiful.
Okay, let's get on to that then.
Amazing.
Because I know that both of the Unit Lost fellows have played a lot of that. I haven't touched the game.
Oh, yeah.
At all. So let's hear about Destiny. What do you got for us?
Okay, so the Destiny, first of all, I can't really explain why I seem to like this game because every fiber in my body tells me this is terrible. Okay, it's 30 FPS. It's a console game. It's. I need to use this goddamn controller. I can't use a controller for FPS games. I cannot.
Can't even hold it the right way up. That's how bad it is.
No, there we go. How confused you are by it.
So the question is like, why the hell? Why do I find it so? Well, I mean, if I can't even answer it myself, I've got a bit of a problem. But like, I think like. So. Yeah, I have, but it's terrible. I just don't know. I really don't know. I'll sit there and I play it. I mean, maybe Kiri, you've got a different view on this, but I like it. It does look nice. Okay, I do like the way it looks. I obviously don't agree with 30 FPS because that's terrible. But whatever. So,
is it true that you can mod your? Is it true that you can mod the console to get 60 FPS somehow?
No.
I doubt that.
They'll hard lock it. The only thing you can do performance-wise for a console is to replace the hard drive with an SSD, and that will decrease some of the loading times and some of the spooling. You can do that easily, but no, you can't do that. As far as I'm aware, anyway, not right now. It seems like it would probably be possible in some scenarios with some of the older machines once they're completely jailbroken, but no, I don't think that's at all possible. The only thing you could maybe do is put on that like fake higher FPS mode on your TV. The awful interpolation thing. It's like, no, this is not good. Turn that off immediately.
Yeah,
I think actually, it's most likely probably to do with the fact it's mainly PvE. I have no interest in PvP at all. Okay, I can't use a controller. Okay, to aim. So if I went into deathmatch, whatever, I'd get destroyed.
As we see here by the people who are playing on the Polaris channel and are terrible at this video game.
So I think it genuinely is the fact that it's PvE and I can kind of play with my friends and it's kind of okay that I'm totally shit. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not really going to get shown up so much. So it's like I can kind of go through the experience of the game sort of thing. Although from what I've played so far, the storyline is absolutely terrible and sounds like it's been written by a child. It's quite bad. Although there was quite an interesting little mechanic which sort of came out of nowhere. It was on if anybody's played it, it's I won't spoil it for you, well, maybe a little bit, but it's on the Crota's sword mission. It actually gives you a two-handed, like, greatsword, and suddenly the game turns into, what's it called?
Warframe?
The Space Ninja game. Warframe, that's it.
Yeah. All right,
and it's like, oh, where did this come from? And honestly, that sort of, I was taken aback by that. I was like, this is pretty interesting. So I'd hope that there's more of that coming along. But yeah, I for whatever reason, I mean, probably mainly to do with the PvE aspect of the game, I am finding it okay. But the obvious issue is, if this was on PC, I would be playing it on PC, all day of the week, every week. I wouldn't even touch it on console. So I don't know. I mean, but it is.
I haven't really found anything in there that's kind of really made me sit up and go, oh, whoa, what the hell, that was amazing. But the way the entire world feels, the way everything locks together, the way it looks, just the style of the game as a whole, has really drawn me in. One of my favorite genres of anything is sci-fi. I love sci-fi in pretty much any respect. And Destiny for me has got the right kind of balance between you've got these amazing environments that are obviously in the future, but there's stuff left around from ages past, and everything about it feels very futuristic and very like cohesive and tied together. But at the same time, whenever I sort of run around, I don't kind of think I don't look at stuff and think, yeah, that looks good. Everything is just kind of presented as a whole thing for me. I really like the look of the game and the way it plays.
So you like the aesthetic, and the whole world is tied together by that aesthetic, yeah? Yeah,
and it works really well because it draws me into the point where I don't. The story isn't great. There's irritating things like. Talking about wizards from the moon can just go away. That's just stupid. I don't like that at all. It just feels weird. It's like
it's all very vague really and nondescript. It's like there is a darkness out there. You know, it's like, oh really, really?
Oh,
really
that's a great way of making a story
Sky?
sound more interesting than it really is. It's like mystery.
Yeah.
That's what StarCraft 2 has at the moment. Is like there's this mysterious void thing going on, and no one has a fucking clue what it is. Like that's not a substitute for an actual story, Blizz. You better tie this shit up in the next game.
This doesn't work for me.
I'm kind of hoping that as a playthrough Destiny, the story does get a bit better because it is very, you are the last hope. You must do these things, otherwise everyone is doomed. Which is like, hey, let's face it, it's a bit cliche.
Which is weird because there's literally
games,
500,000 fucking people that have that same thing going for them. It's this classic
Yeah,
MMO problem. I'm a hero, just like everybody else.
Yeah, it's just like Skyrim,
But for some reason, in Destiny, it doesn't seem to break the immersion that much for me. It breaks the immersion in other games. MMOs I just generally have a problem with, but they take that attitude where you are the hero, but go and kill those rats. I mean, that doesn't sit right with me. But for some reason, there's something about Destiny. I don't know whether it's just the way the world's been put together or the way it's presented. It might also be because, actually, the gameplay that I've had with the Hunter, I've really enjoyed. I haven't found any point where I've kind of wished I was a different class. The way I'm playing the game, it seems to suit no matter what you do. I've seen people run around using pretty much exclusively semi-automatic rifles and sniper rifles, and they've done absolutely fine. But I prefer to get in close and use melee a lot more, and I can still do just as well as them. Which, given they're playing the same class as me, I really like, because there's actually really big diversity in what people can do, despite the fact that actually the classes are not that diverse at all. You've got 3, and then you've got a subset of those 3, and that's it. And it's like,
but it genuinely is quite difficult. I mean, some of the strike missions really as well. Is. Like you are looking at something like the Devil's Lair, I think it is. That strike mission, you're looking at about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to complete the mission, on the hardest difficulty. Once you've done it, you're going to blast through it a bit faster next time. You might have better equipment and stuff. But it's sort of that, like you go back to examples with MMOs, like WoW, for example, the first time you do a certain raid, you sort of get that feeling, you're sort of exploring a new area. This is the first time you've come across this. I'm kind of getting that feeling with Destiny. It's been quite a long time since I've really had that feeling. I wanted to go out and sort of explore what was going on, because even though it's 30 FPS, Destiny does actually look quite nice. It kind of does raise the bar.
Well, it looks nice because it is 30 FPS. If they made it 60, it would look worse.
Exactly.
And to be fair, it's the good old, we want to be a showpiece, we want to be the best looking game on the market, and we're willing to compromise everything and anything in order to get to that point, which to me is infuriating. But the weird part of that is if you wanted to look the best, you'd put it on PC in the first place.
And it is a game which essentially would just transplant onto a PC and be fine, sort of thing.
It's basically a PC game when you think about it.
It is. Yeah, it is. It is.
You basally made a good version of Hellgate.
Totally agree.
Essentially. That's what it is.
I kind of have to wonder as well how much of like the enjoyment and the general feeling I'm getting from the game is from the fact that it is new. Like, I've not played anything. I mean, I've played games like Destiny, because there are plenty of games that are like Destiny, but
Borderlands.
I mean, it's essentially grown-up Borderlands is what it is, but at the same time, it feels new, and I don't know how they've managed to do that, because I'm not a stranger to first-person shooters, I'm not a stranger to MMOs, I'm not a stranger to a mix between the two, but somehow they've managed to create a world where it drops you in, and everything does feel new, and even having played the beta for God knows how long, having got the game today and played it for like 3-4 hours, I still I was finding stuff I found in the beta, but still thinking, oh, that's different. Even though I knew I'd seen it before. I mean, whether it's because they've tweaked it, whether they've changed up the missions, I don't know. But it was just something where every time I went around a corner, something else felt like it felt exciting and different, and I hadn't seen it before, and I wanted to go past that and see what was beyond it, and I haven't really had that from a game for quite some time. So I don't know how much of that has got to do with the appeal to start off with.
So the game in general hasn't blown your mind, but you're finding it consistently interesting.
Yeah. I think that's a really good way of putting it. Yeah.
Fine. I mean, that's fine by
That's
me.
good.
I'd rather a game just be interesting than people blow it up as the second fucking coming of Christ, which it clearly isn't.
Oh yeah. No.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean,
not at all.
Yeah.
what is exactly revolutionary in the game? Nothing really. I mean,
nothing from what I can
absolutely
tell.
nothing.
It might
No,
be you. I mean, it's not even unique on console, really, outside of the fact that they. No, that's not even fucking unique either, because Phantasy Star Online did that shit. And that was with the in the
Yeah.
Dreamcast deal. I was like, oh well,
Yeah.
the fact that everyone interacts. No, the Dreamcast did that. That's that definitely isn't new.
It's almost like another kind of World of Warcraft case where it's nothing in the game is new, but it's taken elements from a lot of other
polished
games
to a
and put
mirror
them
shine,
together
yeah.
really, really well.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like things like just the way that the UI works and the presentation is top notch. Like it's Bungie through and through, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sound design seems to be absolutely fantastic. They, from what I could tell anyway, seem to have even made looking at weapons interesting. Just because the menu maybe it's over stylized, but I just like the way that they've presented it in general.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
Yeah, so
the
the whole thing
music
with
as
the-
well
with the
is really
pointer-
good.
yeah, of course.
Well, the whole thing with the pointer on the UI can get a little bit irritating,
Yeah.
but soon you
Yeah.
kind of forget about it. Okay, it would be more efficient if you just kind of click through. You sort of could drop down using the D-pad or whatever, for example. But yeah,
Well,
But at the same time, that's clunky, and the game as a
very
whole
polished.
feels really smooth. So if you kind of come out of a
Well,
nice
that's
smooth
why.
experience and
Yeah.
go to the menu and sort of start hammering on the D-pad, it really it'd feel really off. But for some reason, just using a thumbstick instead, it's less efficient. It takes more time, and frankly, because I'm no good with a controller, I frequently miss what I'm aiming for on the bloody UI. But at the same time, I'm not sitting there going down, 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 down. It just
Right.
works a lot better.
Man,
It-
sorry.
I was going to say, I'm going to wait till it invariably comes to PC. Probably, there's rumors. There was even a listing, I
Is it
think, on German
2015?
Amazon. They were
Was
saying,
this?
they were
Yeah.
saying early 2015 on Amazon. That's still not confirmed yet. And even when I actually went to Bungie and asked them, they dodged the question. It's like, I don't know what it is with Bungie and PC. I guess it's because they started off as a Mac firm, so they eternally
Yeah.
hate PCs. It's probably coming to iPad before it
Deep
comes
in
to
their
PC.
hearts, they're just like, no.
Yeah, it's just like, I remember Marathon, and I hate your platform. but I think that I'm fine waiting for it, because ultimately, the way that they've designed this, they're claiming that people will play this for years and years because they're going to keep adding content. Cool, so what you're telling me is that when I get on board, not only will I have the version that runs better and has all the bugs fixed, but I'll also have more content. Sold! Fantastic! I'll see you in 2015. In the meantime, I've got all this other shit I can play. No big deal.
You know what sucks? Is that storyline wise, we're in this awful like valley zone where when you start off with a story and the concept is you're the one who's gonna save everybody. There are two different ways that it can go, and both are now equally predictable. One of them is it turns out you are the one and you save everybody. And then the other option,
you are the one.
yeah. And then the other option is like, it turns out that you were actually working for the bad guys the whole time. Like they try to like swap it. And now both of those are like kind of common. And I'm wondering how you could possibly start with that concept and have it be interesting and not just predictable.
You just can't have a multiplayer game like that, like an MMO, and you cannot be the one because everybody is the one. It's like that's just the problem with it,
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, maybe they're gonna try to do like the whole thing at the end and be like,
that, of course.
Yeah, and be like,
that one, yeah.
you weren't the one. You weren't the one. You were just you were helping us with our evil cause, sort of a thing. And that way, nobody was the one, right?
I wouldn't
Nobody
mind
was
having
ever
a
the
game
one.
where
I have a feeling they can't do that simply because they want this game to last for years, and if they drop that shit on you, then people are going to be like, well, fuck you, I'm out. I'm done.
They're like, what have I been working for? And then you just
My life was a
trap it
lie,
forever.
and then they never log in again.
I really wouldn't mind, like almost like a Warhammer 40k approach, where you're not the Primarch, you're the Space Marine. So yeah, you are pretty badass, and you have killed 1,000 people by yourself. But at the same time, you're still only really working for that guy, who could have actually fixed it straight away. But
Identify that, chat. Yes.
Well, that's
What
a
is
fucking,
this?
That's a Lehman Russ, but it's not a default Lehman Russ. That's a Lehman Russ Vanquisher.
Oh yes, and what's on the side sponsons? Can we see that there?
Let's have a look. Those look like those are heavy. It's a bit blurry. It's a bit blurry. I'd usually say those are plasma, but the thing on
Yep,
poking.
yep.
Oh yeah,
And
they are
front- and
plasma. Sorry, I was
and the
seeing the
front, they
other
are
thing.
plasma.
Yeah, those are heavy plasma guns. There's a las cannon on the front, and that's a volcano. It's not a volcano cannon, is it?
No, it's Vanquisher cannon. It's
Yeah,
it's a
Vanquisher
Luminous
cannon. I was going to say, you can't put,
with,
you can't put a volcano
TV.
cannon. Has it?
No.
Right.
What
That was Games Workshop. It's like,
moment.
this stream is no longer available due to a copyright claim by Games
Yeah,
Workshop.
copyright.
Shit.
Instantly copyrighted by Games Workshop.
Dude, it's too much nerd talk.
Yeah, pretty
Oh
much.
my
I was
God.
going to say, you can't put a
Yeah.
volcano cannon on a Lehman Russ, can you? That's a fucking...
No, that's Baneblade,
That's what goes...
isn't it?
That's a Shadow Sword.
Yeah.
They put them on a Shadow Sword. Baneblade is just the Baneblade cannon, isn't it?
Baneblade variant.
Yeah, I was going to say Shadow Sword primary Baneblade variant, yeah, but... I am impressed that I got that, because I'm not too good on my Imperial Guard vehicles, especially since there's about 15 fucking variants of the Lehman Russ.
Yeah, they really are.
It's like, here's ones we cobbled together with, and it's always the same fucking excuse. It's like, well, we didn't want to specialize, but we ran out of the good bit, so we replaced it with another bit. And we can't make a new tank because that's fucking heresy. So we're going to swap the turret out from something that's already pre-approved, because that's not heresy. Like, what? We can't make a new pie. We're just going to change out some of the ingredients of the existing pie.
It may or may not taste good.
It
No,
probably...
it will taste good because we're Games Workshop. Now buy. It's also
Yeah.
gone up by 50%.
yeah.
Yeah, it's an expensive game.
An empty stomach is like a fortress with its gates unbarred and unguarded. Imperial thought of the day, number 427. That's good time to go for a break. Again, apologies if the stream is dropping. I can assure you that the VOD for YouTube is absolutely intact, and we will try not to mention it too much as we go forward. After we come back, we will talk about other games that we've been playing this week, and then we shall move on to the news. You're watching the Co-Optional Podcast. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-Optional Podcast. Let's get back to talking about what we've been playing this week. Tom, why don't you talk to us about something that's not Destiny?
Okay, so I've been playing Planetary Annihilation.
Yes. It
among
did
other
come out,
things.
didn't it? Finally.
Yes. Okay, so I'm a very big fan of Total Annihilation, Supreme Commander Forged Alliance, and all the rest of that. Planetary Annihilation, on the face of it, is what you would think is the kind of the natural successor to these games. Okay, taking it to a planetary scale, you know,
Yep.
it's very showpiecey with the Annihilator, which I'm not joking, is the best thing I have ever seen in any RTS game.
Is that the Death Star, basically?
Yeah. Like on a system, okay, there'll be a planet which is like it's a pre-built planet. It looks like the Death Star. It's massive. It's made of metal. It's just got loads of metal extractors on it and stuff. But you can build these catalyst devices on the top of it. It turns the whole thing into a massive like ion cannon thing, and you can fire it across the solar system, and it just blows planets up. And it is really quite satisfying to do. It's kind of similar to the asteroid attacks which you can do. You can attach the Delta V engines to certain size planetary bodies and move them around, which everybody's seen the trailer, the Kickstarter trailer by now. You know, planets slamming into. It's impressive, but that's kind of it, okay? Because what you've got beyond that is you sort of have a very watered down Supreme Commander experience. Okay, the economy is essentially the same. Yeah, there are not enough units in the game. There are not enough units to make it interesting. They are adding more units, okay, but I think a lot of the stuff they've been working on is optimization stuff, so actually making the game run to a decent speed, because it has been pretty bad. But it really severely suffers from lack of units because there is no diversity, really, beyond blowing up planets. But that is very impressive, but, you know, that's kind of all it's got to offer. But I do think it's kind of got a foundation there which it could build on. You know, and it could be fairly decent, but because there's a lot of different things like with these massive doomsday weapons, which, you know, if you allow somebody to go and build the laser and they fire it at your planet, you're dead. It doesn't matter if the game's lasted 5 hours or whatever, you're dead, okay? You need some sort of defense against that. You know how they have anti-nukes against nukes?
Yes.
You kind of need some sort of like defense against that, because the game just quickly devolves into who can quickly get the laser built, or who can, well, it's mainly who can build the Delta V engines and fire that into your planet, because that's faster to do. So if they move a small planet, slam it to yours, you die. It's like, well, okay.
Isn't it a case, though, that they wanted to put mechanics in the game to make sure that shit didn't drag on forever? Because it seems like Planetary Annihilation in particular, bearing in mind you play it across multiple maps, could really drag on.
I suppose it depends on the size of the system. Multiplayer, well, this kind of answers. This is a good example. Multiplayer is generally one planet. That's it, and it ends in about 5 minutes because it's just, you know, everybody rushes each other into oblivion, sort of thing.
Well, yeah, because there's no unlike a regular map, you don't have a sort of a war front because the fucking thing's spherical. It means you can go wherever you want. So actually defending yourself doesn't seem like it would really work. It reminds me of... you remember the map in Supreme Commander, the famous one, whose name escapes me completely, the one that was on an island and it had water around it, there was 2 people? I think
Sentence Clutch. Sentence something, I think it is.
It's
got like a path through the middle, and you've each got a landmass, and there's water either side of it.
It's kind of.
I think
whatever the case, it was. I think it began with an F, actually, but it was... pretty much everyone played that shit. And it was... If you wanted to rush on that map, you can do that, but if you wanted to hit someone from behind, you had to do it with naval units. And if you committed early to naval units, then simultaneously didn't have a too powerful ground force. So that's sort of the principle behind a lot of maps, the idea that your main base, your main, if I was using StarCraft terminology, and to some degree your natural expansion is going to be safer than when you move out. And once you start expanding outwards, then you start spreading yourself thinner and thinner. Planetary Annihilation doesn't do any of that, though, because the map is spherical. So you can't really defend yourself properly from one direction because they could just hit you from the other.
Well, the only way you can defend yourself is if you completely control a planet, if you're playing in a multiple planet system, which is just... But then, of course, they just fire an asteroid into your planet and you're dead. I don't think... that is obviously a problem it's always going to have. How are they going to get around that? You see what it did?
The jokes.
But, it's never going to have a serious multiplayer scene. Never. It's single player, randomly generated galactic conquest mode isn't that bad. Because you kind of go through a galaxy, and as you defeat commanders, you get certain upgrades you can use. So it's kind of like a different spin on it. But obviously it's against AI. But it's never going to have a serious multiplayer scene, never, in a million years. It's sort of the thing you would play with your friends, and you say, there is a 2-hour no rush. You know what I mean? Do not rush.
Yeah.
We're going to just blow each other up with lasers. That's the thing. And, while it does look impressive off the videos, the big lasers and all that stuff, it's Supreme Commander. And Forged Alliance is a better game, and Forged Alliance Forever as well. Which, if you enjoy that, guys, you should check that out. Which is
it's fantastic. I love Forged Alliance
really good.
Forever.
It's really good. Really good.
So, wait. So, in this game, you start off with one planet, and you're trying to expand to other planets.
You can. Yeah. It depends
on
the
map.
Other planets. Yeah. So you're playing kind of like a regular RTS, but the map is spherical. So you start building shit, and usually you'd be building on a 2-dimensional top-down, but in this you're building on a sphere because it's a planet. So you build outwards, but instead of someone just kind of attacking you, it's like, here's your base, here's their base, and then the fighting goes on here. It's like, no, it's a sphere, so they could be everywhere, everywhere.
Okay.
Which is chaotic, to say the least. It's a little crazy. There's only one faction in the game, because they decided we just want to go for balance, which is a bit unfortunate, because, Forged Alliance and everything, Forged Alliance had 4 factions, so it's a little bit of a step back. Even TA had 2. But... So when does it expand beyond the one sphere?
It depends what you want to do. I mean, it's kind of like any RTS, I guess. If you want to rush to space, which, so you build the orbital launcher and you get up there as fast as possible, you have nothing on the ground. So if you're on a planet with somebody else and they've built a ton of units, they just kill you and you die. I don't know. I reckon the fastest you could probably get the engines on a planet is maybe around, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes if you really rushed it. But you couldn't do that if somebody was going to attack you. But it's not balanced. I mean, like you say, TB, about, them trying to balance it with one race. How can you balance it, though, when the map is spherical and you can be attacked from anywhere? In fact, Kiri, you remember we had a stupid game with each other, and he built a massive line of defense turrets. Well, you tell them.
I did, we had a base is really close together. And so I was like, well, what the hell is this? So I built a massive range of turrets that, completely covered my base. It cut it off from one side. So he just moved his units slightly to the right, down, and then back up, which meant all of the defenses were completely worthless. But because I built the defenses because I wanted to try and rush tech, but I couldn't rush tech because I was getting attacked from the other side of the map. And it's just like, I don't know, when we played it, I kind of got the impression that if you want to win Planetary Annihilation, you spam the hell out of just any units available. If you want to win it, and that's it.
You play it multiplayer, it's tier 1 assault bots. They just build hundreds of them and send them at you. Game ends in 4 minutes.
Well, to be fair, that's how Supreme Commander was played a lot as well. It's like, build 6 fucking bot factories, set them on loop to spam as many units as possible. It's very much a macro game rather than a micro game. It's about unit composition and rushing is absolutely viable, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I haven't
just a
played
lot
enough of
harder
it
to
to
deal
judge
with.
it yet. I'm gonna be honest. Like, when I played of it, it seemed kind of fun. Although I got wrecked by the AI several times for the very reason that you just mentioned. They came around the other fucking side and killed me.
Yeah.
Like, oh god damn it! I haven't even had a chance to figure out what all this shit is yet.
Yeah, it's ludicrous.
It's a bit weird. I think that there is definitely a reason why RTS is played on a top-down plane on what is effectively a 2D map and not played on a sphere. Because there's a lot of problems with that. Like, there's only one game that I could think of that would probably work with that, and there's a game called Perimeter, which allowed you to build this giant perimeter shield, which you could turn on and off. That could potentially protect you from all sides, and a lot of that game was about managing the energy you use to power the perimeter shield, and doing all sorts of crazy shit like that. That was a weird game, actually. Very, very strange.
But I guess that could be one thing they could add into it.
I don't blame you. Like, it's very unconventional for RTS, but simultaneously uses a lot of conventions from Total Annihilation.
Like, in my mind, you would have two, because I'm imagining this is just like you're on a planet, there's you and there's the other guy, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm imagining that the only options you have are either attack this guy before he goes into space, or you try to get out of space, you try to get into space before this guy attacks you, right? Like, you're doing one or the other.
In some scenarios, yeah.
Yeah.
We're not explaining this very well, are we? Like,
No.
Look,
it's a difficult game. I mean, in fairness, it's a really weird concept. Let's be honest. I mean, having the entire planet as your battleground and having the fact that you can be attacked from absolutely any angle, including if they get into space from space, it's like, how would you explain that to someone? It's like, well, it's like an RTS, but you can be attacked from any angle at any time by anything, and you can leave the planet and go to another planet, and they might hit your planet with a planet. How do you break that down?
What's going on? Yeah. I need to play more of it before. I mean, but it's not as bad as Supreme Commander 2, though, right? Nothing's as bad as Supreme Commander 2.
We don't talk. There wasn't a. What are you talking about? They did Forged Alliance, and then that was it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry.
There wasn't.
I don't know.
That's like, the end of that series.
There was a flash in my mind for a second, then it just disappeared.
No, they talked about it, but they never went through with it in case it was shit.
Yeah, it must have been just a tech demo that I was thinking about.
Yeah.
I've still got memories of Forged Alliance playing on what was it? World Domination, World Dom, the stupidly massive, like horrendously massive custom map, which is the world. And I remember sitting there and I had like the map on my other monitor, feeling so cool. Actually, I had a friend who he had a projector and he had the map on the projector, and I tell you what, that was amazing. Firing the nukes. The tactical launch detector just going across the map. It's like, oh god, this is like massive nerd chills going on. That was quite good.
I remember just playing that. I remember us playing that at a LAN party and playing it for about 4 hours, and then it bloody desynced and we lost everything. That was the worst end to a game I've ever had in my entire life. Like, everyone had experimentals and there were nukes everywhere and artillery all over the place.
I love when it gets to that point. It's like we're building 5 experimentals at once. Like, there's nukes and anti-nukes and everything. And I used to play this strategy where I'd sneak under like a stealth generator a ton of tactical missile launchers. I'd just launch 30 tactical missiles at key structures, particularly power plants. I love that. It's like, that's going to explode, then blow this up, and then everything chain reacts. It's lovely. Yeah.
It's so good. So good. Dodger has no idea, but it was great. It's great, Dodger.
It sounds so great. These are exactly
awesome.
the sort of games that I'm really bad at it.
Well, most people are bad at RTS.
I enjoy watching them. I love watching RTS. I'm not good at playing them.
Understandable. I played a bunch of Dead Rising 3 Apocalypse Edition.
Yep. I watched your WTF is, and I now want to go back and play Dead Rising 2 and Dead Rising 1 because I'm really enjoying Dead Rising 3, but I will admit that it's just so easy, that game. It's just ridiculous. It did the whole thing of it gave the public announcement where it said, do not be out at night. Zombies get more aggressive. And I was like, God, it's not. I walked outside. I had the sledge saw. I walked outside. There were zombies everywhere. And about 30 seconds later, there were no zombies. And I was like, yeah.
That was fun. I just bought them all.
Where's the rest of them? What's going on?
It's Dead Rising 3 to me, and I've said this before, I've played the others. I played Dead Rising 1 a lot. Like, this was a time when, really, I didn't even have like a capable PC, so I was just kind of playing on 360, and I played a shitload of Dead Rising 1, and I explored all sorts of things in that game, like went to every area, tried to unlock every single thing. I had a build down to a fine art where every time I started, I'd rush a certain place to get these books, then I'd rush here to get these items, and then I'd just be just a god of death. But in Dead Rising 3, you're god of death by default. Within the first hour, don't you get the Grim Reaper almost immediately? Like, it was in one of the first houses I explored. Here's the Grim Reaper. This weapon kills 30 zombies per swing for 60 PP minimum. That's before the multipliers. So
I'm ashamed to admit that I did not get the Grim Reaper, largely because I ran past where I now know where it is and didn't even...
It's so easy to find.
I missed it, and I was like...
I mean, even the sledge saw is a really, really powerful weapon. You get that guarantee because the story dictates you get it. And someone was saying to me, oh, that vehicle you were talking about, the turret and the saw blades, that's one of the worst vehicles in the game. Like, that's one of the worst? Like, it's insane. I can kill thousands of zombies without even going to get anywhere near them in this thing. Yeah. And to me, it seemed ridiculous. Like they took the wackiness of Dead Rising, made that the focus, and lost the soul of it. But I also realized a lot of people actually hated the timer in the first two games. But that's the soul of what made the game interesting. It's what made the game unique. The timer is what made you have to make key decisions and also have to start planning your routes, and you got noticeably better at the game the more you played it because you knew where everything was and you were able to start getting routes more effectively. You'd save this survivor which you failed to save earlier. You were able to hit this story event. I love the idea that if you missed a story event, it just said to you, well, now the truth will never be known. But it let you keep playing and get out. And you got like the bad ending for just, well, there was like 6-7 endings, I think, for the original, where you just got out and it's like, okay, you escaped, but you have no idea why any of this happened. And you're a photojournalist and you were supposed to find that out, you fucking dumbass. You know, that was beautiful. That's what made the game really, really unique. And Dead Rising 3, I think, has lost a great deal of that. But in return, it has given you open world co-op madness with ridiculous weapons.
The thing that kind of struck me a bit was I haven't played Dead Rising 1 or 2, but I know about the timer. Like, I knew that was a big part of the game. So in Dead Rising 3, when it's not really a spoiler, when Nick needs some Zombrex, I thought, oh god, this is where things have got to speed up. And the game was like, you have to get
Dead
this.
Rising 2, wasn't it insulin or something for the... Was one of them diabetic or something?
I think it was a kid that you had to bring Zombrex to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well. That was part of...
Where have we got that from?
Yeah, the Zombrex element into it. A lot of people didn't like the Zombrex element, and I can see why they wouldn't. I think the first game did it kind of right by saying, look, there's going to be events at certain times, you've got 3 days in this mall, survive, rescue as many people as possible, try and find out what's going on and get out. And a lot of people didn't even make it to day 3 because they just got killed before that happened.
But that sounds more reasonable to me than, like, your character gets bitten and it's like, okay, you need this drug. And then I just messed around in the city for 4
ages.
days and nights.
Like,
and it was just like...
Am I a zombie yet? No.
Still don't need it. And I was just thinking, well... It kind of takes away the urgency. It just feels like... I'm really enjoying the game.
Outside of Nightmare mode, anyway. If you play Nightmare mode, then there is a degree of urgency. The problem is the game is designed around these weird open-world fetch quests and collectibles, where the other two games weren't. So that
Bloody Simon and his tarot cards.
Oh, fuck that Simon. Guy! I need tarot cards to get off this roof!
I was like,
fuck you and your roof. I'm leaving you. I don't care.
NPCs are irritating at best. NPCs that won't get out of a life-threatening situation because they don't have their magic cards on them.
Yeah,
it's just I was just like, can I not kill this guy? In fact, I did kill him in the end, but at the time I was just thinking I could easily wipe him out. I gave him his cards.
Like, bring me 3 cans of spray paint so I could finish my bullshit graffiti.
You worked so hard.
No.
Yeah,
no, I'm
I think she died in my playthrough.
You can die. I don't care.
Everyone I've rescued, I've killed with either the roller hog or the thrasher, because they've either refused to get on the back of it or they've been so irritating to deal with that I've just been like, I don't even want you to live. I mean, Simon, as soon as he got off the roof, I got into the roller hog and I just repeatedly ran him over and set him on fire until he was dead. I was like, no, Simon, I do not want you anywhere near me, so just die.
Worse.
You are useless. Yeah, I still think, well, Dead Rising 2 is still very playable on PC. Dead Rising 2 off the record is awesome because it brings Frank West back. Because Chuck's boring. Nick is even more boring than Chuck. Frank West is awesome.
my biggest problem, right? And I mean, the game, as I say, I'm enjoying the game, but there are issues with it. One of the biggest issues is Nick is such a whiny little bitch.
Oh my god!
He does not stop crying about everything.
It's like,
someone dies.
You,
like the
you
guy
have the power of lightning! Like, what the fuck are you whining about? I'm so scared of these zombies. You are on a giant bike with flamethrowers. You have nothing to worry about.
I ran to the Zen garden.
So hang on a minute.
Dead Rising
3. Dead Rising 3, right? Dead Rising 1 and 2 were stupid, wasn't it? Over the top, mental. Running around with your pants off and you like a God knows what on your head, killing people.
Yes, absolutely.
With shopping trolleys.
Yeah.
But Dead Rising 3 to me, it looked like it was trying to take itself seriously.
Yeah,
is that
it does
the
a
case?
stupid clash.
Serious.
Like, it's trying to take itself seriously, but simultaneously is fucking stupid. And it doesn't know how to rationalize those two things. So it tries to make the characters kind of serious. And it's even now, there's a tiny thing that actually really bothered me. That really said to me, oh, they bro-gamered the shit out of this game. Yeah? Here it is, right? You want to talk about equality? Here's your equality. In the first game, if Frank West wears a dress, he admires himself and goes, yeah. If Nick wears a dress, he's like, oh, God, this is awful. There's the key difference between those two games. Like, one game revels in its silliness and lets you do whatever, and the other game is ashamed of its silliness.
Yeah,
Right.
And I have to say, at the moment I really just lost it in terms of this plot does not fit this game, was I found the Zen Gardens, and I was dressed in I think it was a hazmat suit head, yellow boots, and Nick's underwear, and wielding a chainsaw attached to something else. I can't remember what it was. And I completed the fight. Everything was fine. At the end of the fight, Nick is standing there in his like gas mask and yellow boots and pants, and going, "Oh God, that was horrible." And I'm like, Nick, look at you. You dressed in your pants in a zombie apocalypse. You've got a chainsaw attached to a hammer, and you're complaining because someone just died. What is wrong with you? This is ridiculous. I can't. And from that point on, I just turned off subtitles and turned voices off. I was like, no, if I'm going to do this, I'm just going to run around murdering things and enjoying myself. I'm not paying attention to the story.
I started skipping the cutscenes because it's just like, this is just dumb.
It's just irrelevant. Somehow the story is irrelevant to the game.
Yeah. Well, Dead Rising 1 is surreal.
That's really sad.
But it embraces that. That's the thing about Dead Rising 1 is that all of the characters in that game pretty fucking weird in their own right. Yeah, they're all kind of very strange. As soon as you get into the game, it introduces you to mystery immediately and weirdness and strange things happening, and it continues that particular atmosphere and mood throughout the game. And Dead Rising 3 doesn't really do that. It doesn't know what its mood is. It has no idea. And I think it did that to try and westernize the game a little bit more and make it more appealing to the kind of people, I suppose, that would buy an Xbox One on launch, who maybe are kind of Call of Duty gamers, FPS. You can call it bro gamers, I suppose. It's sort of frat demographic, I think.
The thing is, even that demographic doesn't work for the main character. Because,
no, because they find him whiny.
Apocalypse,
it's because he is
playing a guy who can just beat the shit out of everything by sticking two pieces of wood together and making a flamethrower-powered motorcycle engine saw or something.
But they refuse to make him a badass. They refuse. Like,
you don't want him crying at everything.
This guy's a demigod.
He goes up to vehicles, stands there for 10 seconds, and produces a machine of mass murder.
Yes.
And then later on, bursts into tears because someone he doesn't know just died. And it's like...
A person was trying to kill him, by the way.
It doesn't work. It's just... No. Oh.
Yeah.
It's such a shame, because I really like this kind of zombie killing aspect, and the fact you can make these mad inventions. And
totally. Yeah.
You are just like an absolute god of killing everything you see. Yeah. But then you have to take a break from that stuff to deal with like crappy cutscenes where the main character is apparently having an identity crisis. And it's like,
bumming you out in between the fun parts.
Yeah, it's like, this is fun. Oh, and he's a wimp. Brilliant. Oh no, this is fun again. Brilliant. That's just it's too conflicted. It's not good.
Yeah. As people are using the term ludonarrative dissonance, I hate that term because I'm constantly misusing it, and so is everybody else. But there is a real clash between what you're actually doing in the game and how your character's acting versus what your character is capable of. It's like, if our character is capable of that, then there's no fucking way. There was actually one little side quest that I showed in the video that really capitalizes, not so much capitalizes, but really demonstrates nicely how that clash in personality works. He's trying to convince this kid on a roof that actually the zombies can be beaten. And like, he shows him first killing 5 zombies with his bare hands, then he builds a super fucking weapon and then kills them with that. But this is the same guy that 10 seconds ago was like, oh God, they're coming! Ah!
Yeah.
You have a lightning staff! You have rocket-powered fists! No!
Also, I have to admit, I kind of ruined it slightly for myself because I made the mistake of looking at the DLC before I watched your video. I picked up the massive hammer because I thought that looks funny. I went outside. It didn't break for like an hour, and it just killed everything in one hit. And I was like, well, okay, that's just a bit
They give you a bunch of OP
now.
vehicles as well. There's like a fucking tank in there or some shit. It's like, why would you give us that from the start? That's stupid.
The tank is actually crap. It sounds like it shouldn't be.
It.
It just fires like frosty mist out the front.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the armadillo, not the ZDC thing.
Oh, I haven't tried the armadillo yet.
It looks OP.
God. It doesn't need. They don't need OP DLC.
I was going to say OP within this world, yeah.
Yeah, you're always just running around with like loads of combo weapons. It makes it very easy to make combo weapons because you can use your levels up to unlock combos, which mean that you can replace a specific component with a generic one from the same category. So, like, instead of needing a katana sword, you can just have a sword of some sort, yeah, or a knife.
Yeah.
So I combined any handgun with a knife, and I make a shotgun that has a giant blade attached to it. I just make 4 of those and go to town. Because why the fuck would I need anything else? It's not only is it powerful in terms of its shotgun mode, but it also has a ridiculous arc, and it just kills most zombies in one hit. So why the hell wouldn't I use that?
And the thing is as well, the combo weapons are really good, but some of the non-modified weapons are ridiculous as well. Like the how do you pronounce it? Guando, the big spear with the massive
spear?
axe blade on.
That murders people so fast.
You can absolutely just destroy a horde of zombies in a matter of seconds with that, because every sweep is like 360 degrees, so you just murder everything in sight. And that's not even a combo weapon, that's just an ingredient for another combo weapon. But you could stick 5 of those in your inventory and you would be set for like the next hour of gameplay. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a game about mass slaughter of zombies. It's entertaining, but it's not a good Dead Rising game. It's a pretty good like horde slaughter open world collect shit game. Yeah. If that's all you want, that's fine. But again, performance on PC is wildly inconsistent. A lot of people have reported problems. I mean, I watched a video from someone that said, "Oh, TB, it's fine. I'm running on a 4930K and I've got a 780 Ti." And I looked at it like, yeah, it seems to be running fine. You've recorded your frame rate. And then I get another one from someone with exactly the same setup that has half that frame rate. I'm like, what is going on? Come on, this is all over the place.
I mean, I have to admit, I didn't bother to mess with it before I recorded it, because I was just in that mode of, I'm not going to touch this in case I screw it up. I'm just going to leave it how it is out of the box and just deal with it. And it was been absolutely steady at 30 frames a second all the way through. But at the same time, I've spoken to at least 2 people who've tried to play it, and they've just been like, this game is atrocious. As soon as I get near a horde, it drops like 10 frames a second. When they're playing like much more graphically intensive games than that.
They're not even trying to get to 60, which I tried to get to and couldn't fucking attain that.
They've got no chance. It's just not going to happen.
It's weird. Well, hopefully driver updates and patches will actually make that game more consistent in terms of performance. Then I'll play some more. For the time being, I don't really want to play anymore. I've already put like 8 hours into it, but about 4 of those was just testing performance, and it was just all over the shit.
I think I'll probably finish it, but I'd imagine I might actually stop and finish it in nightmare mode, just because I want something. I need something to drive me towards it, because the story isn't doing it for me. And slaughtering zombies is fun, but it's not like I need to complete this game fun
very quickly. Especially when you have such ready access to these really powerful weapons. So, yeah, I think I'll probably do the same thing. I think I'm probably at the level now where I could restart in nightmare mode and I'd be fine. Hopefully. Yeah. I've got enough, like, unlocked weapons and things that I think that I'm probably going to be able to fight just fine. To be fair, if I've got the Saber Shot and the Grim Reaper, I'm probably going to be able to beat pretty much anything, so that's all you really need.
I still think the best weapon is the Mecha Dragon it's called, where you headbutt the zombies to death with a big Chinese dragon head. That was my favourite. Until I found the one that combines boxing gloves with, like, blades in them as well.
Have you had the ones that let you do Shoryuken, the rocket-powered boxing gloves?
Yeah. Motorcycle engine and boxing gloves, and you've got like motorized. That was brilliant. Yeah. I probably traversed the map about 4 times because I loaded up on those and just punched my way through hordes, and then turned around and went back again just for the hell of it.
Yep. Yeah. Yes, Dodger, I am eating on the podcast. It's delicious. Look at this. That's a nice little bit of beef there.
What the heck? Hang on. Is that a beef jerky?
It's beef jerky.
Beef jerky.
Yeah, I'm not here.
Did you not hear about TB's jerky extravaganza?
I may or may not have bought 20 packets of Jack Link's small batch original number 11 and it's fucking delicious.
I have never had beef jerky in my life.
No.
Never.
Most jerky is
great.
pretty bad.
Homemade jerky is so good.
I'm going to be honest, it kind of looks like a dog treat. It just looks like...
It tastes so much better than dog treats, trust me.
I mean, it was a method of preserving food for like long treks, you know. But like, yeah, it totally looks like dog treats, but it's delicious.
Yeah. If you get good stuff. The other stuff is like a lot of what Jack Links makes is awful, but this no, it is. It's terrible. It's terrible beef jerky, but this stuff's like the small batch stuff is just gorgeous.
My dad used to smoke jerky all the time, so most of what I've had has been homemade. So that's
Are we
what I'm
talking
used
better
to.
than pork scratchings here? Is that what we're talking?
Shitload better.
Is it? Oh my god!
How can you say that?
How can you say
What
that?
are they? What's pork scratchings?
Explain it.
Pork scratch. I'm waiting for the horrified look now. It's essentially the fat off a pig. It's really heavily salted and then cooked until it's
Heavily
incredibly
cooked.
crispy. Like really, really heavily cooked. When you bite into a pork scratching, you need to taste like basically seawater, and it needs to crunch so badly that you're in danger of like shattering the roof of your mouth.
Oh yeah,
as all the
So
pieces
nice,
like
though.
bite into it. It's
Yeah,
so good.
That's what we have. They're pork rinds.
Pork rinds,
We call them
yeah.
pork rinds here. Yeah.
Okay.
So don't worry, I'm not horrified.
All right, let's talk about black pudding
They are.
instead then. Let's go.
Oh yes.
Oh.
Black pudding is
Blood pudding, I had that for the first time when I went to visit Sam, and Sam's mom was like, "You've never had blood pudding? Here, I'll make some." And I was like, "This is not
You
for
see
me,"
him
but I
squealing
tried
out
it.
the back as just as she strangles a pig to make it happen.
I had yesterday a Scotch egg where the meat was black pudding.
Oh, Scotch eggs.
Around the outside. Oh, that was the best. That was amazing. Anything involving black pudding is pretty much the best.
Black pudding, cheese and pickle. Oh my god. That is a thing of wonder.
What's happening to you, TB?
Hello.
Ah. Yeah, TV.
You quite finished. The fuck? Jeez.
It wasn't a puppy, but it was still fun for me.
Jerky everywhere.
She just like sprinkled it all over the floor. It's like
Just beef all over the place. Oh, jeez.
See, that should be the next customized Sims carpet. Beef carpet.
Beef carpet. Yeah. You
You
can
can call it the Gaga carpet.
You can swap it out for food when need be. Anyway, so yeah, Dead Rising 3. Not incredible. What else?
How did you feel about How to Full Boyfriend?
It's quite...
Oh, is this that pigeon dating?
pigeon dating
simulator?
thing.
Oh no.
It's a bit silly, isn't it? I don't know. I
Really?
gotta admit, I laughed at the writing. I will happily admit that I laughed at the writing. It's pretty funny in its own weird way. I'm told it gets really fucking dark later. Mm-hmm. So that was interesting.
Yeah,
But
I'm
it's also
excited
a visual novel dating sim, the kind of thing that I don't generally play and don't find interesting, and How to Full Boyfriend is no exception on that.
I can't say I've got much experience in this genre.
No, you want to ask Dodger about that. She does.
I know, I'm waiting for it.
No, but I've specifically tried to not know anything about How to Full Boyfriend except that like everybody's a pigeon. Like that's all that I really know. But
I don't even.
you know. But like, yeah, everybody has said that it starts off super silly and then the deeper you get into the game, like you get more and more alternate endings. And like one of the endings is super dark. And I'm like, I need it. So for the longest time, the only way that because that game has had an English crack for like a while.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have played it that way. But once I found out that there was going to be like a legit English version coming out, I was like, I'll just wait.
Yeah.
I'll just wait for that so I don't have to do all that bullshit.
Okasan
to
is the
try to
best
get it to
character,
work.
there's no doubt. Like, there's
I
this...
don't know whether to feel ignorant or like
Blessed?
I'm somehow
Let's
blessed.
go.
Yeah,
about,
I feel blessed.
I don't know.
It's the bliss of ignorance right now.
Yeah. It's,
I can
it's
safely say
strange.
I've never even thought about playing a game where everyone's a pigeon and you're trying to date other pigeons. In my
But you're
head.
not, the
that's
weird thing
something-
is you're not a pigeon, though. You're the
You're
only
not
human.
a pigeon.
So he gets
okay.
even
The
stranger.
humans are trying to date pigeons.
The human is trying to date pigeons. We also don't know where all the other humans are.
Oh, it's a bestiality thing.
See, this frightens me, you see. This frightens me when we start going down. What? Why? Why would you play this?
But see, that's the gimmick that draws you in, and you're like, "This is so weird. Why is this a dating sim about pigeons?" And then they drop dark shit on you, and you're like, "This is actually kind of good. I don't know how to feel."
Yeah.
That's how they get you, Tom.
Words, I don't know. Although I feel a strange urge to actually play this now.
Right?
I don't. I'm absolutely fine.
No,
I'm absolutely fine. I can live without it. I think I'm thinking I'm in a comfortable position where I could happily go another week without experiencing the hateful boyfriend.
Hateful boyfriend is probably more good. I don't know what hatful means. I have no idea. Why is it called that?
I bet it means hateful. I bet it does. I don't know. I'm not going to put any money on it, but.
Well, I mean, it's a game.
The subtitle of it, it's called Hatoful Boyfriend, A School of Hope and White Wings.
That's racist.
I don't know that Hatoful means something.
I assume it's got to mean something, right?
Hatofuru is the actual word.
Hatafaru.
Come on, we need to know this before we go. Apparently, hato just means pigeon in Japanese.
All right.
Pigeon.
So it's pigeonful pigeon.
Well, pigeonful boyfriend.
Pigeonful what?
What?
So
Heartful? Heartful?
pigeon boyfriend. What?
Hatofuru could be heartful.
So
It could be like
it's
a
a Japanese pun then. It's a pun between heartful and pigeon.
yeah.
Heartful pigeon boyfriend, basically. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I've learned nothing.
Point,
today.
I'll get my coat. I'm
All right,
leaving.
that's fine. You know, I think that's all we need to say about hatful boyfriend. That's fine.
Cool. We did it. We cracked the code. Moving
Yeah.
on.
Pretty much. Outside of that, been playing a bunch more Heroes of the Storm. It's good. I'm digging it. In a 5-stack, anyway. Strippin's terrible at it though. So
Thrown down.
he's the worst. So bad at that game. But I don't know, it's a nice alternative. I'm playing like Dota alongside Heroes right now. I play Dota solo, and then I play Heroes in a 5-stack, and it's good. It's a nice alternative. Like, the game's usually over in about 20 minutes. Action from the very start. Yeah, it works. I'm fairly happy with it. They still need to fix the performance, but other than that, it's a fairly fun game. It's got a lot going for it. It's the Mario Kart of Dota clones.
Yeah.
I've only had a couple of games now. I've enjoyed them, but it hasn't really sort of. After each game, I haven't thought I need to go for another one. I've kind of just put it aside and then thought, like a few days later, oh, I fancy a game with that. It hasn't really dragged me in, I guess. I don't know whether it's because I'm a sucker for
play with
punishment.
4
but-
others, and then you start to
need
really
a full
get it.
group.
Because like as you go, it's a very objective focused game. So as you go through objectives as a team, and you spend less time farming and more time roaming, I think it gets a lot better.
Yeah.
There's some really nice, fun stuff you can do. Like, you can time sending your mercenary camps out for when an objective pops. So it's like you grab the mercenaries, so start you pushing the lanes with them, but then an objective pops, so they have to either try and answer the mercenaries or answer the objective, and they're hard to do both. So you can. There's a degree of strategy involved in that, and I'm starting to learn a little bit more about it. It's still a very simple game, but it's nice that it's so team focused. Yeah, it's all right. Anything else we've been playing, or should we move on?
not played Heroes.
Yeah, I need. You need code for that, don't you? So we'll get you involved in that at some point. I played a bit of Strife, of course, for the brand deal.
You see this?
Hello.
See this?
Are you being, Is that a bit of elite? Is that a bit of elite?
It is a bit of elite.
A bit of
It
elite.
is.
All right, elite dangerous.
bit.
Yeah,
This is a Thrustmaster something. Okay,
that's an old one.
It sounds very. It's a Thrustmaster,
So-
but it does not vibrate.
It's actually the sequel
More
to Hatful
expensive what
Boyfriend.
to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got one of these, which is
Oh,
Satec,
yep.
that's the
something
Cytec
like that.
X52. Yeah, with the
Yeah.
the other
Looking
stuff that comes
good.
along with it.
Yeah, Elite Dangerous. This is a HOTAS, so it's got the independent throttle, which is this.
Yeah.
So you can ram the throttle and
Yeah.
the joystick. Now, I've never really been into any kind of flight simmy games, space games, anything like that. I mean, Kiri played a hell of a lot of Freelancer and games like that in the past.
A shameful amount of freelancer.
So,
to be honest.
like, to me, like, I don't know, but I took the plunge and I picked that up. It was pretty cheap, actually. I didn't just push the boat out and buy an expensive hotel setup because I wasn't sure whether it would actually kind of work for me. But I tell you what, I've had quite a lot of fun with that. I'm absolutely shit at it. I'll just admit it. I die all the time. I lose loads of money on it. But I really feel like I'm in command of a spaceship, and I get this very strong like. It's kind of like an EVE Online vibe with it, but I'm actually piloting the ship
instead of clicking the ship.
If you were to believe EVE Online's marketing campaigns, you would believe you're actually flying a ship, but in fact, you're looking at a spreadsheet. No offense to any EVE Online fans
true.
out there. It is true. But yeah, I've had it's quite good. Like I didn't really follow the development at all, and it kind of just like came out of nowhere kind of thing for me. I just picked it up one day. I thought, I'll give it a go. I was more interested in Star Citizen because, if I'm honest, Star Citizen has got this very flashy advertising campaign constantly going on, ramming these ships down your throat. It's like, holy shit, have you seen this? Look at this. Mr. Kirioff spent enough money on that bloody game already. And the game isn't even out. It's weird. Yeah. But yeah, I've had quite a good time playing that. It seems a little bit iffy though at the moment, but there's not the multiplayer aspect of it doesn't seem to be that solid at the moment. You can kind of be on your own a hell of a lot. I think they're bringing in things with when you're traveling to different planets within a system, you can get interdicted, but only by NPCs. But they're going to open that up so you can get hit by players. That would be really good because you could kind of, if people were going on a transport mission, you could sort of play the pirate and take their transport out, demand, you get their cargo and stuff like that. It's, I don't know, it's an experience I've never really had before, and I've kind of been taken with it quite a bit actually.
I haven't played it nearly as much as you, but when I have played it, I've really, really enjoyed it. It feels to me like somehow, despite the fact that Star Citizen has got all the marketing in the world and apparently all the money in the world as well, Elite still manages to feel really, really polished and really nicely done. And admittedly, I haven't actually got a joystick yet, which means that I'm not really playing the game that well because it doesn't really suit mouse controls. I mean, Freelancer was fine for that, but Elite is a different game entirely. But I've been really impressed with it, and I have to admit, I'm kind of seeing myself more likely to pick up a joystick and end up playing Elite more than Star Citizen at this stage, because for all of its flashiness, Elite seems to have more of a, I guess.
Well, it's currently a video game, which Star Citizen.
Well, yeah,
isn't,
that's a start.
That.
And there's all the things about how they're approaching the early access side of things, and the way they're opening up is that the game is at least fair. You might not come across with a lot of people, but if you do end up in a fight with another player, the chances are that they're going to be in a ship that's comparable to yours in some way. And so you can at least experience the game without thinking, oh God, if someone turns up in this thing, I'm going to get destroyed. Whereas in Star Citizen, frankly, I bought the Hornet for Star Citizen. I pledged for the Hornet. And when I've played like multiplayer and had any sort of fight with anybody, if they're not in a Hornet, they die. And it's that simple. And they've said, oh, no, it's not about balance. And it's like, well, okay, it's not about balance, but you've released a multiplayer module where all you can do is fight other players. And one ship is vastly superior to the other. And you're saying, well, it's not really about balance. So, well, this is the only thing in the game that we can do.
So far,
in Star Citizen, this is the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I much prefer Elite's method of dealing with that, because it's like you might not have as much interaction, but at least you can play the game, and at least your interaction with the game isn't going into a game with your $40 ship coming up against a $140 ship and dying immediately, because that's just crap. And if I was in that position, I'll probably just turn off and go, well, I'm not playing that till launch. I'm just not going to touch it.
Yeah, well, I mean, Elite has always been, ever since the original, which came out on the BBC Micro a very, very long time ago. I still have the original copy on 5 1/4 floppy disk.
There's actually a very interesting BBC documentary on YouTube with
David Braben.
And, yeah, it's very good. Definitely watch it. It's
what they did with 32 kilobytes
it
of
is
memory
literally
is
history.
insane.
Genius.
That game basically was the reason why all open world games really exist today. It was insane what it was able to accomplish with so little. And Elite, it just seemed like they wanted to continue what Elite was doing, just make it a bit better and use modern technology. And they're not promising the universe. Yeah. So I think as a direct result, you are able to look at it and say, well, okay, this looks feasible. This is something that makes sense and it looks attainable. Rather than I look at Star Citizen and it could be the best game ever made, But whenever you say that, you're also opening yourself up for it to be extremely disappointing.
That's exactly what we've said, where it's like, whenever we look at it, I think one of the big problems that Elite Dangerous had as well is that when I saw Star Citizen's Kickstarter, I was like, holy, look at this. This is incredible. Whereas Elite's was very much aimed at, do you remember Elite? We made that, we want to make another one.
We're going to make
which is fine.
One. Yeah.
I mean, Elite is, it's a legendary series, legendary game, but
at
the same time, there are going to be a lot of people who will not look at Elite Dangerous and think, oh, it's from Elite, because they won't really know what Elite is. They won't have that clear an idea of what Elite was. Whereas Star Citizen was just, we want to do this, 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 and this. And as a result, it just blew up to the extent where it kind of eclipses the Elite Dangerous just through weight of how much attention it's got.
Well, I mean, you're talking about a game that didn't Elite Dangerous raise about $400,000 and Star Citizen's raised over $40 million.
I think it's a 55 now.
50 something, yeah.
I want to say.
Jeez.
Last time I went on the site, it was it was just like mental.
At least $50,000 a day it does or something. I mean, I don't understand where
the hype train is real for that game. Actually, sorry, I was completely wrong about Elite Dangerous. They actually raised £1.5 million, which is about $2.5 million. So they got the money they needed to make that game. But still, that's much smaller than the amount that Star Citizen's currently raised. But at least just like it seems like it's a more focused and more attainable project. And Star Citizen eventually could end up being incredible. But I'm holding off until it's actually.
Yeah. The other thing is how long is this going to take? They're talking about ship combat. They're talking about invading other people's ships.
They're talking about having there's an FPS component in it. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
it's like the feature creep on something like this. This sounds like something Derek Smart would pretend to do, and then fuck up completely, and then sue people on Usenet to avoid criticism of. But I don't know. I believe in Chris Roberts absolutely, but Star Citizen is such a massive project that it has the potential to fail in many different ways.
I just don't want them to do a Peter Molyneux and promise the world and deliver nothing. Yeah. That's what I'm really worried about, because they've got all the potential right there, but let's face it, when you add that many features to a game, when you claim that you're going to do so much stuff, if you completely screw up just one aspect of that, that's going to have a massive effect on the way people view it, because if you're like, we were promised this, that's not happened, or that's broken.
It becomes especially problematic when those people have already sunk hundreds of dollars into the game already.
Exactly.
You're going to have some very very entitled, and rightfully so. Not using the term entitled as a negative. It's like, they throw a couple of $100 at you. Yeah, they're entitled to something. Absolutely.
I feel entitled to a decent game because I spent €140 on a bloody ship. If someone coughed up 10 grand for one of the multiple person ships, and the game turned out to be not even half what they're expecting, they'd go absolutely apeshit. It'd just be disastrous.
We'll see. That's really all that we can do. We have to just wait and see. Elite Dangerous, though, is actually getting along.
It's very playable now.
Very playable.
Yeah, I mean, it's very playable. Very playable.
Definitely. That's as long as Piranha isn't involved with any of it. If any of you remember MechWarrior Online, oh my god. Apparently they're doing a new game, and everyone is super fucking pissed off about that, because MechWarrior Online...
Are they just dropping MechWarrior Online?
I was going to say,
probably,
just
but it's not even close to having all the features they promised. It still doesn't have the whole kind of Galactic Clan War thing that was supposed to be the linchpin of that game. It's still, the texture quality is still arse. It's like, when I heard about MechWarrior being made in CryEngine 3, I'm like, oh, that sounds amazing. Then you get into the cockpit, and there's 3 polygons on the leg. It's like Tomb Raider 1 on PlayStation. Like, what? What is this? I got suckered in on that one. I bought a Founders Pack for $120. And I didn't even play that much of it. I played a bit of it, and I was like, okay, the base gameplay seems fine, but where's the rest of it? The base gameplay was okay, but all of the stuff that they promised never arrived. And I think I gave them the benefit of the doubt for a while and said, all right, this takes a while. It's still not there. And all we seem to be getting is, here's a golden version of this mech that costs $100 fucking. Get the fuck out.
Yep.
The game still has the last time I tried it, then MechWarrior has 2 game modes or whatever. The core gameplay is still pretty good, but it's so bare bones for how long it's been out there and charging money. That's what really bothers me, I think, about it. If they had actually managed to sort out the feature set and deliver what was promised, I don't think anyone would be so bothered about bullshit like, oh, they put a third-person camera in, or, oh, the texture quality's not that brilliant, because the actual mech combat is still pretty good. But there's still
you reckon
so
this
much
is going
missing.
the way? kind of going the way
Maybe.
High Res have gone. You know, like
the whole ban thing.
Tribes.
The thing is, I don't think High Res is going to do that again. Honestly, I think that
I hope not.
I think with Smite, they're a bigger company and they're a more mature company than they used to be. I'm gonna be salty about what they did to Tribes till the end of time. Like they did, they made a pretty good Tribes game. They fucked it up and then they didn't fix it and they just kind of abandoned
just left it.
Yeah, that like, bothered me because
I
was a Tribes advocate for a long time. You know, I said Tribes Ascend. Okay, maybe it's not as good as Tribes 2, but it's still a pretty good game in its own right.
Yeah,
but then it's like, well, where's the rest of it? And like, oh, we're doing Smite now. Like, you what? But
the way they handled it as well. It wasn't like it. The thing as well. It wasn't even like a dead cutoff. It wasn't just okay. Sorry guys, but this isn't working. We don't think this is going to go anywhere. We need to focus our efforts elsewhere. Instead, it was like, oh, they closed the forum. What's going on there? Oh, hang on. Now they've said Reddit is the forum. Oh, hang on. Now their mods have disappeared off Reddit. It's like it's like some kind of half-assed retreat out of a war zone. They just sort of disappeared piece by piece, and everyone was just sat there going, where the fuck is all the support for Tribes Ascend? And then someone went, yeah, no, we're done with that. It's like, it took them like 6 months to pull that maneuver. Why didn't they just go, look, guys, let's be honest, we fucked this. I mean, it would have been disastrous PR-wise, but it would have been slightly better than kind of cowardly running away piece by piece and leaving bits and pieces all over the place.
They supposedly barely broke even on that and probably made a loss, I believe they said. And I can get that, because Tribes Ascend is a pretty hardcore FPS. It's hard to learn.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, God, it is.
If you didn't play the original Tribes, it's really fucking hard to learn. But, frankly, that's kind of their fault. Their tutorial was fucking terrible. It didn't help at all. And there were all sorts of problems that they never got around to doing anything about. But they were absolutely happy to introduce new weapons. And
I was going to say, there was that plasma cannon thing.
The plasma gun when it came out was broken as shit.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
The grenade launcher with the sticky mines, that was OP as shit. They had to nerf that. There was a couple of other things. I don't think it was a serial case of every time they released a new weapon it was broken. I don't think that was true at all. But some of the more high profile cases like the plasma gun and like the launcher were pretty knackered up. So I don't know. It's always sad, I suppose, to see a company abandon a title like that, especially when you love it. But simultaneously, you have to ask, well, how much support do they really have to give? Like, where's the cutoff point where you start saying, okay, guys, we really need to move on to making another game now. We're not making money off this.
And you can argue that they have got the right thing. Smite I guess,
good.
Save them. Yeah, Smite is a
very good game. It's got a fair business model. Pay $30, get all the gods. Simple as that. You know?
Yeah.
It's got shitloads of game modes. It's got a lot of champions, gods, I suppose, or heroes, whatever the hell you want to call them. It's got a lot of content.
That honestly is one of the best things about Smite. The fact that it is still technically a MOBA, but the fact is that you do not get one map or one variant of the map.
Like 6, and they put a new one in like every day. They have kind of a rotation of like, this is a game mode where you all start with 200,000 gold, go. This is a game mode where you all play Egyptian gods, go. And you've got separate queues for all of them. I just jump into that, I don't play Conquest, the 5v5. I only play Siege, which is the 4v4 map, which is a lot faster, and I play Arena, and sometimes a bit of Joust. And they're all different game modes, and I can enjoy it on that level without having to dive into the big competitive aspect. You know, I'm kind of focusing on Dota 2 as my kind of competitive game, and Smite I just dip into and I have a bit of fun. It's cool.
The best thing is you can actually do that, whereas, let's face it, you can't really do that with most of the... I'm trying to think of other MOBAs where you can just die. There's, what, all random, all mid for League of Legends?
Yeah.
And that's about it. But even that's just...
They eventually put that
Even
in.
That is just like one thing. It is one map. And
well, they tried to put Dominion in it, and it didn't do very well, did they?
But that was terrible. Yeah.
Well, you try. The thing is, I think that they started off with one mode, and they stuck with one mode for like 3 fucking years, and then after the game got popular, they tried to jam some other ones in. And but the thing is, with Smite, they put the modes in quite fast, still in like alpha and beta, and they pushed it as, look, we've got different ways to play this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Smite is solid like that.
You know what I think is interesting is that there are lots of other medias that go about taking a hiatus and it doesn't seem odd to us. I think it seems very odd in the gaming industry, though. If somebody's like, I'm not going to work on this game for a while, it's like, excuse me? And for the most part, like you guys were saying, most of the time they just stop communicating, which is a big problem.
Yeah.
But this is not that foreign of a concept with like TV, with comic books. Like, there are plenty of times where people are like, I just need a break. I need to like recharge, But we have such a bad way of communicating that in the gaming industry, and I don't know why.
I mean, I think part of it is just down to the fact that games are, by their nature, so interactive that you kind of get to the point where if you really enjoy a game, it's like you want to see what's next from the person who made that game. It's like, this has been such a good experience. I've enjoyed everything about this. It's really drawn me in. What's this person doing? And this person says, oh, well, I'm going to make this. And you think, oh, that's brilliant. I really enjoyed this. This is fantastic. But then it doesn't really happen. And they say, I've got to take a break from this. It's not happening. And instead of like with other mediums kind of going, okay, well, I can wait. It's like, I want that experience you gave me again. It's almost like an addictive thing.
I think I can identify
that was so
what it
good.
is. The thing with a television series, that's a good example, because television series are broken down by seasons, and they go on hiatus, they come back, is that you watch the series, and then that's kind of it, yeah? With video games, you're playing on a daily basis, and you're constantly creating your own content by playing. Each match is your own individual story, and it never really ends. I know people get salty about the fact that the next Song of Ice and Fire book isn't out, but I can read those books, and I can say, all right, cool, I had a good experience with this. And while I might want another one, I'm not like every day saying, oh god, I need something fixed or whatever. In a game, it's often like, oh, well, I play this on a daily basis and there's this thing that's bothering me. And it keeps bothering me. And I want you to fix it, but you're not fixing it. And I want you to add this feature, but you're not doing that. And now I'm getting really bothered. I'm getting annoyed because I invested money into this. I continue to, and there's progression in a lot of those games as well. It's like, I unlocked this, I unlocked that. I'm now committed because I'm hooked in thanks to the sunk cost fallacy, which is how a lot of these free-to-play games work.
Because of the game, we're part of the experience. We're not letting the experience happen to us, like with a book or a TV show. Yeah. So,
even in a story-driven game, you form your own narrative as you go through. No one plays games exactly the same way as someone else. Everyone has their own way of playing, their own way of doing things, and that's that's the best thing about games as a whole. But it also makes
you can
it more
compare this into games, Telltale's games, The Wolf Among Us, The Walking Dead. I have never really I find it okay if there's a delay. I find it so, like this episode's delayed. I'm kind of okay with that. I know a lot of people maybe not, but in my opinion, that's kind of okay because that's kind of like you're getting a bit of a crossover there, right? Because it is kind of like an interactive TV show.
So a lot of people were not okay with because there was radio silence on the second episode, I believe, of Wolf Among Us. There was loads of time that was spent, and they had to eventually apologize for that because people were like, where the fuck is the next episode of The Wolf Among Us? Because usually they're on a fairly reliable schedule, and they can put that schedule out. But then The Wolf Among Us took, was it like 5 months to get episode 2 out? And then things got back to regularity. But people were pretty salty about that. And I was one of them. That actually got me to stop playing The Wolf Among Us until the rest of the episodes came out, because I didn't want to see that happen again. Especially since it left episode 1 on such a fucking cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But
again, it's a communication problem.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was kind of slightly a little bit ignorant. I was just I wasn't really chasing it, following it down. I need my next fix. I was just, when it happened, when the update hit Steam or whatever, it was like, oh, cool, there's another episode out. And I sort of went with it, but I never really found myself, frothing at the mouth. I need the next part sort of thing.
Yeah, it depends, I suppose, how committed you really were to it. But Telltale is a very interesting point, though. There's the obvious commitment to being an episodic story-based game. So you're going to be stuck into a development cycle that has to be regular. And if it's not, you're going to get a lot of really fucking pissy people.
Maybe Valve should hire them. Might actually get, series content.
Nothing will get done. They'll just release hats for the Wolf.
How many games are they making at the moment?
It's like, we're doing something. Terrible. What are you doing, Valve? Steam Machine. I already have a Steam Machine. It's called a fucking PC. I'm playing all your games on it. Give me more games. And stop putting bad games on your system. Valve is maybe the worst company when it comes to communication. But the dietide bullshit that happened last year was all because they fucking said nothing for months. It got to the point where Volvo cars were pissed off at Valve because everyone went to the Facebook page of Volvo and was like, Volvo, please give dietide. And that's because fucking Valve wouldn't tell people whether or not it was going to come. If it was going to be this, it's like, we'll just shut up and everything will go away. No, it won't.
They seem to have this thing. I don't know whether they think that mystery is good, but it's getting to the point now where everything they're involved in, where it doesn't happen, just turns into a massive meme circle jerk all over the internet, to the point where no matter what they produce now, I mean, the Half-Life 3 is a prime example. I don't even want to. I don't care. I don't even want to play. If it ever comes out, like in the next 50 years, which it probably won't. It'll probably come out when we're all dead. I still won't be interested because by this point, I've seen enough Half-Life 3 confirmed
I can't
jokes
even remember
that I
what
would
Half-Life
see it
2
on
was
Steam
about
and go,
now.
fuck
It's
off.
so long
I don't
ago.
care. I just don't want to know.
Has been a while.
So it's just, they're just dreadful for it. And the thing is, they can't possibly think that it's like a really good thing for the company. Because it's not like people are kind of laughing. People aren't laughing with them going, haha, yeah, Valve, they're in on this. They're going, Valve, where the fuck is the game? Seriously, Valve. This is just getting stupid, Valve. What are you doing?
Come on.
And Valve are going, nothing. I've got nothing.
Well,
don't ask me.
and I'd be okay with that if they had a good customer service, and because where's that money coming from? It's coming from Steam right now. It's like, all right, well, if you could show that you were investing in the service and actually updating Steam enough, it's like, what have we got in the past 6 months of the Steam? Well, we got a blue icon, so there's that.
A round icon as well. It's round, isn't it?
I can never find it.
Whoa.
I'm still so used to the like black and white one that I look all over my desktop for it, and I go.
Eventually, after
there
about
it
10
is.
years, we got the ability to throttle downloads. And by the way, that's still, you can't even throttle it by custom amount. Like, it annoyed me because I wanted to slow my downloads down to a certain amount, and I couldn't. Like, it's, I don't know.
It's one of the most. It's got to be easily one of the most frustrating companies in the industry. Not least. It's not. It's not even because it's a case of Valve stop releasing kind of bad games that you make, because generally they don't really release bad games. It's the fact that
No, they just don't release any games.
the platform was full of crap games, and they refuse to release any themselves. It's almost like you feel like they need to make up for it.
It's quite clear that the plan is to shower Steam with so much shit that when they actually release a game of worth, suddenly it's the shining beacon of hope. It's quite clear to me now.
Oh my god. I'm afraid we can't say too much about Valve because we'll lose our credibility as members of the glorious PC gaming master race. But still, like, come on, Valve, get your shit together, all right? Get your shit together.
Please.
That's all we ask for at this point. Anyway, let's take a break, and when we come back, final hour begins, or final 50 minutes or so, and we will talk about news, because apparently there is some of that. You'll be watching the Corpse Podcast, don't go anywhere. Be right back.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the co-optional podcast for the final 45 minutes of the show. Let's have a look at some news, shall we? Shall we start with something that everyone is no doubt extremely enthusiastic about? A certain fighting game character.
Why?
All right. So NetherRealm announced that Goro will, of course, be playable. Goro being a character from Mortal Kombat. Usually a boss character most of the time. He will be playable in Mortal Kombat X. If you pre-order it!
Yep.
Yep!
Oh dear.
I hate pre-order bonuses anyway. I don't care, right? I don't see why you should care, because it should be in the game anyway. And half the time they unlock the pre-order stuff like a year later anyway, so what's the point? But to actually put a character, and not just a character, it's not just like a shitty, here you go, we just made this guy up. We got the artist to draw
like
him
an
yesterday.
iconic character from the series.
Yeah. And then go, oh, by the way, but you're going to have to pay, you're going to have to pre-order for that. You can't have it unless you buy the game before it's out. So enjoy that. What? I mean, are we now at that stage where is that going to happen more? Because I know there's the whole thing of pre-order and you get special stuff, but has anything been quite that bad yet?
I'd say some of it to some
Probably,
degree.
yeah.
Didn't they do that? I think it was for Mass Effect 3. It was either you pre-order or you paid extra or whatever to get I can't even remember now. It was such a long time ago that you got the only Prothean character in the entire fucking series.
Oh shit! Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. That was.
I remember that
Yeah,
now.
no, that was bad.
That was awful enough for me to say that BioWare had gone too far. And I usually never use the term "gone too far" because it's very, very clickbaity. But in that sense, I was like, because I was pissed. Like, I loved Mass Effect 1 and 2. I still, to this day, haven't played Mass Effect 3 outside of the beta for the multiplayer because I just don't fucking want to do it. And apparently, I'm not missing much for the ending. But they put the fucking Prothean, the whole series is based around the Reapers and the Protheans. The only reason you're even a viable and useful character,
I mean, it's
is
such
because
a major
of Prothean
event
influence.
in the lore. Yeah.
So Protheans are a huge deal. And they decided, we're just gonna put that behind. Like,
I'd actually forgotten about that because I ended up skipping Mass Effect 3. I remember being pissed off about that, but that wasn't really the reason I didn't get it. I just was not particularly interested in the game. But that maybe it was day one DLC. The precedent setter? Is that like the thing that started?
I think it's been done before. There's
been a slow incline. There's
been a decent amount of it. The issue really is day one DLC in the first place. Yeah. Because I've said it many times before, and this is fine. Once you get your game, as long as your game works and has the content that was promised, then you're not kind of as a gamer entitled to anything more if you don't pay money, yeah? So if they want to make post-release DLC, they are more than welcome. They are more than welcome. But when you take an iconic character, in the case of Mass Effect 3, it was the Prothean. In the case of Mortal Kombat X, it is... And I think in Mortal Kombat X, it's actually worse, and I'll explain why in a minute. When you take that, and it's going to be available on day one, and then you lock it behind a fucking DLC or pre-order paywall, then you are doing your customers a huge fucking disservice. You are exploiting your fans, especially the hardcore ones, because they would have loved to be able to get into that. And you're saying to them, well, if you pre-order, if you put your faith in us, if you're willing to pay $60 before you've even played the fucker, then you can have them. You can have them. Like, no.
It's like a weird guilt trip. Like, don't you trust us?
Yeah.
You should just, why wouldn't you pre-order? You get this extra stuff, and this game's going to be great anyway.
It's going to be great. No, I don't know shit. The only thing I have seen of Mortal Kombat to this point has been on your YouTube channel in a very carefully controlled environment. I haven't touched the fucking thing. So I do not know if it's going to be good or not. And even if I did, as we've seen in the past with games like Aliens, Colonial Marines, and Watch Dogs, the stuff that you show at a show, not representative of the final product.
Colonial Marines, TP.
We don't talk about Alien Colonial Marines.
That's fucking terrible.
I think that might be the single biggest disappointment of my gaming life. That game.
I played Spore, so I don't know if that's true.
That was. But come on! I mean, the co-op for Aliens Colonial Marines was something else.
Is there not some sort of was there a lawsuit or something involving Gearbox and Sega?
Oh, that's ongoing. Yeah,
that's still going.
It's still ongoing.
So the story is that allegedly that Gearbox took funds that were earmarked for Aliens Colonial Marines given to them by Sega and spent them on Borderlands 2 instead, and outsourced a bunch of stuff to a company called Timegate.
I wouldn't even be surprised.
And then tried to blame Timegate for the game being shit.
What was that game? Timegate.
Was the name of Timegate? No. I think it was them. Timegate Studios. They made. They did the Fear expansion packs. They did Kohan. They did Section 8 Prejudice.
That's it. Section 8 sci-fi Halo-y style thing.
That was actually pretty good.
Section 8.
Prejudice was pretty good. Yeah, I made a video a long time ago, like in the Nice Things series about that, because it was criminally overlooked in my opinion. They released it as like a $15 game that had like amazing amounts of content for what it was. I'm like, why the fuck aren't you guys playing this thing? It's got so many unique mechanics. People, I think, wrote it off as a Halo clone, which is kind of bullshit because it had a lot of really interesting stuff of its own. It had a bit of tribes in there for good measure. It had this really cool mechanic where you dive in for an orbital drop.
From space.
You basically pick your spawn point. You could fucking land on people and kill them that way.
Yeah. And you also have a slowdown mechanic. If you didn't slow down in time, you just smash into the ground.
Smash into the ground, you could pick when you fired your retros, basically. Yeah. And if you slowed down too early, it would give you more control, but simultaneously it would make you more vulnerable to ground fire.
Yeah.
There was even a build where you could go through anti-aircraft guns. You just arm yourself up against anti-aircraft and just fucking plunge through the atmosphere. It was legit fun. It had its own problems, but it was mostly because I think it was tied to games from Windows Live at the time, which really fucked it up. And then they released Map DLC, which split the community, which was a bad idea, considering how, small the base was in the first place.
It was quite small.
But Timegate was apparently involved in the development of Aliens Colonial Marines quite heavily, but Gearbox has tried to kind of shove all the blame off on them. And there's a big spat over that. But anyway, kind of back to the point. I think that locking a fighting game character behind either day one DLC or a pre-order bonus is maybe even worse because you've got balance concerns coming into play at that point. What happens if Goru's fucking OP? You know? And only people who pre-ordered get to play him. That ruins the experience for people. That is selling power. It's bad.
Mm. Yeah, are they employing like an unlockable character system in this Mortal Kombat? Do we know?
We don't know yet, I don't think. So,
Okay. So at least at first,
there's one
like,
unlockable character and it's Goro.
it's only Goro. They're like, there's no way to unlock him except with the dollar bills. You're like, come on. Yeah. I was just curious because at least at first, you know, fighting people, if you were like, oh, I don't have that character, you would just kind of assume, oh, well, I haven't unlocked them yet, you know?
Yeah.
But
a lot of fighting
Goro
games are moving away
specifically.
from unlocks, and I think that's sensible. Especially, what was it? It was the original Street Fighter 4 that made you unlock fucking everything by playing
I
single
love
player
that,
modes.
though.
You like that?
yeah,
I'm not a fan
I
of that.
always loved it. I don't know. I got this great thrill out of being like, oh man, I finally get to play Reptile. For me, in every Mortal Kombat, it was like, I just need to play Reptile. And then once I unlocked him, I was like, yeah.
I got bored of unlocking characters by, I think, Soul Calibur 3. And then by the time I got to Soul Calibur 5, I was like, I do not care about... I like 2 characters out of all of these people. They're the only ones I play.
those.
Just give me the fucking character. I don't want to have to play as some stupid woman I don't care about who's new to the series to unlock Cervantes because he's clearly the best. Just give me him to begin with.
Give me fucking
He's an
Cervantes.
undead pirate.
Well, it was especially bad with the original Soul Calibur, wasn't it? Because I'm pretty sure unlocking Cervantes took quite a lot of work, and unlocking like Edge Master took fucking forever. And then
Yeah, that
like
was
I'm pretty sure you
ridiculous.
could play as Infernal as well, and that was really annoying. But those games weren't even online. Like, once you get into the era of online, the idea of unlocking characters, especially on day one, can be a huge pain in the ass, because if one of them's fucking broken, or if you're just not, maybe you're just not good at them. What would have happened to me if I went online and the only characters I had in Street Fighter 4 were charge characters instead of Shoto? Because I play charge characters terribly, but I can play Shoto characters reasonably well. So what if Ryu was someone I had to unlock, and I went out, it's like, oh, you got Guile, you got Balrog, you got Vega, you got Bison. I'm like, I can't play any of these fuckers. It's not, I don't like that. But what I'd like to ask as well, what do you guys reckon about the way that Killer Instinct does it? Because Killer Instinct is kind of a free-to-play game that has this rotation, but you can also buy the full game for like $20. What do you think to their business model there?
Well, they're not making you buy it in both cases. You know, it's not like with this Mortal Kombat situation where they're saying, I mean, you're going to have to buy the game anyway, but if you buy it ahead of time, you get another character.
Totally. Yeah.
You know?
I have to admit, I've never really had an issue with like a free-to-play game where if you just give them basically the cost of a retail game or less, because I mean to me that's fair, because if you're playing a free-to-play game, you are literally paying nothing to play what they give you, and if you want them to give you more, then it's kind of reasonable to expect that you give them something in return other than just playing the game for nothing. So that to me, I have no issue with that. It's a fair way of doing it, because it's basically down to the choice of the individual. It's not like a case of you have to pay, otherwise you have just got no chance. Instead, it's, do you like this enough? Okay, well, you can have access to all of it.
Or buy the characters a la carte if you don't really fucking like them. I love Killer Instinct system. I think it's the way forward, and we've seen other games. Capcom did it with a lot of the iOS ports of Phoenix Wright. They're still doing it. Like, they've just released Dual Destinies with the same model. First 2 chapters for free, pay for it a la carte as you go. If you don't finish the game, you don't end up paying the extra money for it. You can just like buy chapters as you go, and you end up paying more overall if you do it that way. But if you buy the whole thing, you save a bit of money. I can dig that. That sounds like a great.
Well, that's kind of the way that Nax was done with Hearthstone, wasn't it? You know, you could buy every wing individually if you wanted to, or you could just buy the whole lot. You are literally just getting exactly what you want, and you're getting exactly what you pay for. If you want to just try the first wing and decide whether you like it, go ahead. If you don't
and they
want it
gave
after
you the
that,
first wing for free within the first like month, didn't they? Just
Yeah.
Go play it, see what you think. And frankly, like, Spider-Wing was shit compared to the other ones, but it was still free content. Here's some free cards and like a free legendary. Go. That seems fair. But locking this character behind a paywall is, well, the pre-order wall in particular.
It's
grimy,
really, isn't it?
Like, you know, here's how they could have done it with Goro. They just say, all right, well, Goro's going to be released about 3 months in, and we've launched the game. Now we're developing Goro, and we're going to take 3 months to develop Goro, and then he's going to come out, and you're going to buy him for $5 DLC. And people probably wouldn't have complained too much. It's the way that Injustice did it.
Yeah, I mean, that would solve the balance issue as well, wouldn't it? You know, the balance would be a non-issue.
Everybody can get it at the same time.
Until they've played it. Yeah.
$4 or $5,
Yeah. Although, I mean, there are still... my camera's fucking up, isn't it?
Yeah, you're frozen.
Yeah, I don't know. I might have to replace my camera. Some weird shit going on with that right now. Let me see if I can fix that. Just give me a moment. Turn it off. Turn that back on. All right, there we go. I think that's fixed now. Looks like it. All right, cool. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to replace that eventually. The concern, I suppose, is that if you release characters as DLC, then you're still putting yourself in a situation where you might get power creep. You release your latest DLC character and it ends up being overpowered as shit. Well, that's a problem for those who weren't willing to buy the DLC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, I guess as well, this could be quite a cynical way of looking at it. They obviously need to develop new characters as they come in. They need to be powerful to attract the casual buyer, or to attract extra sales, because people will buy that. They will. They just will. This character is more powerful.
It's a really horrible business model.
It's shit. Yeah.
So that's the whale thing going on, isn't it? That's the kind of nonsense that you find. Yeah.
You know what it is with unlockable characters that I love so much?
Okay.
It's kind of like, it's like a way better version of achievements. You work really hard, you do something specific, and then you wind up with some sort of, yay, you did it. But in this case, instead of it just being a dumb badge, that's like, you did it, good job. Do the next
you
one.
You actually get something for it.
You get a character to play, yeah.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that because it provided that challenge element of it where I felt like, I had a goal. I was trying to do something stupid in the game in order to achieve my goal. And at the end of it, I had something that I could physically use within the game,
Yeah. That's kind of... Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, the kind of argument that I've got for that is that those are primarily, for me, multiplayer titles, not single player. So if I get the game and I can't go online with the character that I want to go online with, I'm going to get pissed off.
I gotcha. Yeah.
But then again, if you had a game where in single player you could do whatever you... Like, in multiplayer, you could do whatever you liked, but in single player, you had to unlock everything. You'd kind of... If you played multiplayer, you'd go back to single player and just think... Well, I was just using... Oh, no, I can't. I've got to unlock it first. It's kind of hard to find a balance between the two. It's either give everyone everything or hide everything behind unlocks. And no matter which way you do it, there's always going to be people on either side going, well, I just want to play that character. I don't care about the others. And someone else saying, I really like the aspect of actually, making an effort to get this person.
Working for it.
It's really hard to draw a sensible line between the two.
I for some reason I can't remember. MK9, did that actually? Did you have to unlock them through the single player?
I don't think so.
Can't remember.
I honestly
that may
can't
have been
either.
Only true in the original version. Hang on, because I know there was a bunch of stuff you could.
Yes, there are unlockable characters in Mortal Kombat 9.
Yes, didn't you? You unlocked them by playing the single player story mode, right?
I think so.
That was the latest one, wasn't it?
MK9?
Yeah. Yeah, because I've only played... I got that game for... I think it was £2 out of a bargain bin somewhere. And I played the single player, and I actually thought that was really well done. I really liked that.
There weren't that many.
It's very rare to find...
It was only Cyber Sub-Zero and Quan Chi, though, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure everything else was...
And Melina's flesh pit costume.
Yeah, they did a lot of the stuff with the costume shit. That was blatant pandering
Damn it,
bullshit.
Melina.
Yeah.
By far the grossest of all of the girls.
Yeah. So it was only really 2 characters, and Cyber Sub-Zero was shitty. But I mean, having Quan Chi kind of unlockable is a bit. I don't know. I mean, I was okay with that. It was a couple of characters, but I'm sure it was in the original Street Fighter 4. It was most of them you had to fucking unlock, and that was just pain in the ass.
Sub-Zero is such a badass.
Yes. Of course.
Imagine if Sub-Zero was behind the pre-order DLC. Well,
oh my god, that would be worse. Oh, here's a better one. Here's a better one. You buy Sub-Zero Edition and Scorpion Edition.
Oh,
and
But you can never own
Yellow and
both.
blue boxes.
Never. It's impossible.
Man, it would be so stupid.
And then you collect them
if
all
a
and you
company
trade them with your friends.
did
right?
that with a fighting game. Like, you imagine a fighting game where they put Darth Vader and Yoda on 2 separate platform editions. Like, what kind
That
of
would be
stupid... That would be ridiculous. No one would ever do something like that. That would be the fucking worst. Like, you would have to be moronic. Completely and totally moronic to do that.
And of course, you'd have to have the apprentice as well. That would have to be in that game.
Oh, yes. Wait.
Or was that... Was that... Or unless that wasn't a direct...
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
We're talking about Soul Calibur 4 where they actually did that because they're a bunch of fucking morons.
Yeah, I hated every aspect of that, especially since Starkiller was massively OP.
Oh, it was broken as shit.
If you're going to introduce a character from another universe, which I can't remember what law reason they gave, but I remember it being hilarious.
Well, Yoda was
cut
worse,
himself
I
on a
think.
magical leaf or some shit and just went back through time into another dimension, and then he was fighting Nightmare.
Oh, the storyline went to
Starkiller
shit
was
at that point.
Naturally.
I mean, it's that game. It's the only game where I think the person before the end boss is more difficult to kill. Like, no matter how much I played that game, I would always die to Starkiller at least twice. But then I'd get to Nightmare and just kill him instantly. It's like,
Yeah, it was easy.
This guy is like the biggest badass in the history of everything. He wipes out entire armies just by looking at them. He's made of armor and fire and hatred. And yet some guy who can't hold a lightsaber properly just killed me twice. And I was able to kill Nightmare straight away. What is going on?
Yeah. Although, if you want to keep talking about that, you could talk about the fact that they did 3 separate characters for Soul Calibur 2, where they had fucking Link in the Nintendo version, Spawn in the Xbox version, and was Hachi, I believe, in the... Yeah, that is horrible. I'm sorry.
Also, having a guy who just does hand-to-hand combat in a game where everyone's wielding giant swords, scythes, and nunchucks and spears was just like, what?
Well, I mean, when I saw a lightsaber
idiot?
being parried by a stick, I was starting to get a little bit like, what? My suspension of disbelief only goes so far.
Yoda, too short to be grappled.
Oh yeah,
made him
Yoda was a
broken as fuck as
fucker
well.
in that game. Absolutely,
You couldn't grapple him. It was
infuriating piece of
terrible.
shit.
Depending on the height of the character, sometimes I think it was Astaroth, and I think Nightmare as well. There were certain horizontal attacks that just passed over
didn't
him.
hit him.
Astaroth
Yeah.
definitely couldn't even hit him. He had to do.
It was like playing
first one,
against
that was
fucking
it.
Oddjob. It was the worst thing. Oh man.
Oh.
People think we're in the worst part of gaming when it comes to the way that people commercialize unnecessarily and milk people, but you got to remember there are plenty
it's
of
been
really
wonderful.
bullshit examples from back in time. Soul Calibur has plenty of those really terrible examples.
I mean, even with
MK9
Soul
had
Calibur 5,
Kratos as an exclusive character.
Oh, that's right. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
horror movie guy.
Oh well, Jason. No, Freddy.
Jason, what's
Freddy.
his face?
Freddy was
Freddy
a DLC
Krueger.
character. The thing about Freddy was he was available on all platforms, but on PS3 you got Kratos. I was like, God damn it!
What? I thought Ezio in Soul Calibur 5 was stupid. That sounds even worse. Incidentally, he also kind of OP. Funny that. Seems like all the tie-in characters are in some ways broken in the Soul Calibur series. I wonder why that is.
I mean, if we're talking about exclusives, we've got nicely on the topic, I think, of exclusives when it comes to platform exclusive content rather than platform exclusive games. Destiny's a great example of that. On PlayStation 4, that's where all the extra content is coming first, isn't it? If I recall correctly? What are your thoughts on that in general?
Time-based.
Either timed exclusives or just flat-out exclusive content for a particular platform. I mean, no one could really be in favor of that, right? Or
No, you can't be. You can't be in favor of it. But I mean, it's obviously, well, it's marketing strategy, isn't it? It's like, yes, but if you buy the PS4, you'll get the ultimate Destiny experience. So buy the PS4, and obviously a lot of dollars of exchange hands for that.
Hands to make
It's
that happen.
bullshit. It's bullshit.
And
it's absolutely
the
bullshit.
thing, the main problem is the fact that it works. I mean, I was listening to the radio earlier, and Destiny has like sold massive numbers, but in the UK, the PS4. Since the announcement of Destiny and all the stuff telling you what you get with the PS4 has miraculously risen up, and now it's sold well over 100 million units. But it was not near that before they started talking about Destiny.
Did you say 100 million? I'm pretty sure you're off.
You're
off by a couple of orders of magnitude there, I think.
Yeah, 100 million.
was it?
Fucking hell, man.
100 million.
It was just
I can't remember what the figure
it
was.
just
But they were
1
like,
million, actually.
I was
in the
willing to
UK.
they were
go with
saying
it.
that
I was like,
they were saying
yeah.
that the number of PS4 sold since the announcement of Destiny, and the
since
fact
the
they're really
announcement.
pushing the fact that the PS4 will get this stuff before anything else.
Yeah,
has
it's
really
over 1
boosted
million
it.
units in the UK.
That was
Bear
it,
in mind
1
the UK,
million.
reasonably small country.
He's
Where
been
did I
drinking
even get
too
that
much, that
from?
man. 100 million.
100
Jesus
million.
Christ.
Considering there's only
100
65 million
bloody
people in the UK, that's an impressive
Bought-
household adoption rate. That
Literally
everyone
every person
bought
in
10.
every household
Every
has a
room.
PS4.
Every room has a PlayStation 4 in the UK. Like,
PS4
you go to
for
the
every
toilet,
man,
there's a
woman,
PS4 right
and
there.
100 million.
Which is frankly where I should put my PS4, because God knows it's not getting any fucking use anywhere else.
That's pretty good at collecting dust.
I haven't turned that thing on in ages, I'm going to be honest.
It's literally, ours has literally only been used for Destiny. Sam used it to play the Destiny beta, and now we've dusted it off so that he can play Destiny, the actual game. And I'm like, this is literally all we've used this for. This is the saddest thing.
Yeah.
So what have we done? We fought each other in UFC a few times, which is
UFC
terrible,
is terrible.
Game.
That is so bad. Yeah. I played PT on it and Destiny, and that's about it.
I tried to turn my PlayStation 4 on so I could play Last of Us Remastered, and it was like, this will take 4 hours to update. And then like, okay, I don't really want to play that game.
No. I kind of totally forgot that I played that.
I don't really care about that
Says
anymore.
a lot about the game.
Oh no, not the Last of Us controversy again.
We're not getting into that again. Everyone always gets really mad when we talk about Last of Us, because like, you just don't know what you're doing!
You don't understand, TB. Best game that's ever came out in the history of ever.
It's like, someone winded me in the previous podcast comment section about, it's like, it's almost like if using a pad, like, for shooters actually takes some practice, kind of like sarcastic. It's like, yeah, eating noodles with a pencil takes practice as well. Doesn't mean I'm gonna fucking waste my time doing it. It's like, it's an objectively inferior way of controlling it. Fuck it. Oh my. But no, I mean, it's not good for anybody, and really it just like, it fuels the console war, and it's bragging rights, isn't it? For people with a particular format. Like, why should people like be happy about that? It's like, okay, so you bought an Xbox One, you bought a PS4, so you get this exclusive thing, you get this exclusive thing, you both lord each other's exclusives over each other while simultaneously complaining that you don't have the thing the other guy has. And then the people, of course, in charge of all this are laughing all the way to the fucking bank. Like,
oh yeah, it's blatant,
they've got consumers
tribal nature.
Yeah.
What fans of football games, soccer games, whatever, why are they shouting abuse at each other? It's like, this is my tribe against your tribe. Let's have a war.
No, they're just all trying to make money off of you, all of you.
Yeah, but
the console war is not console versus console. It's consumer versus consumer for no fucking good reason. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yep.
Which actually, right? I bought a Wii U. Okay. Quite recently.
I got one of those.
Right? I've really enjoyed Mario Kart 8. Okay.
It's good.
Really enjoyed that. No, I really enjoyed that. And Monster Hunter 3. I was given an introduction to that. Which, I don't know.
Dark Souls, but okay.
Well, this is not really the same. You can't say that. It's not the bloody same.
This should be fun.
What the fuck?
I mean,
man?
the controls are kind of similar. If you've played one, you can kind of translate into the other fairly simply. Obviously, the concept of it is so different.
What I'm saying is, this is kind of a big step for me. A Wii U, like a big step for me. But I've been kind of happy with my purchase. In fact, it's probably. Well, with the exception of me messing around on Destiny, I've played this more than the PS4 by quite a bit, probably. I'll leave you with that.
Well,
but it is
interesting.
I don't know. Bayonetta 2's out shortly, isn't it?
Yep. It's going to give me a good excuse to play the remastered version of Bayonetta 1 that comes with it. What a fucking deal. Get to play 2 amazing games.
Yeah, I mean...
If you got one particular console, for God's sake. I want to play Bayonetta 2. I'm not buying a bloody Wii U for it. Jesus Christ.
You can buy it for that in Wonderful 101. That's a great game.
Wonderful 101 is fun. Yeah, I would say that, like, even though the number of good games that are available is pretty low, I've also played my Wii U more than I've played any of my current gen consoles because it has more games that have lastability for me. I guess, like, I can play a lot of Monster Hunter. I can play a lot of Mario Kart, There's more of a sense of wanting to just continue playing rather than being like, well, that was a game done.
For me, it's like, what is on the PS4 and Xbox One that I can't already get on PC versus what's on the Wii U that I can't get on PC. There's a lot of shit I can't get on a PC that's on the Wii U that I would like to play. There's only... Goddamn, what's on... Oh yeah, fucking nothing! There's nothing on either machine outside of Destiny at the moment that I have any interest in playing. And that's not even a platform exclusive. That just happens to only be on consoles for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, let's play Crimson Dragon. Wait, that's shit. Forza. Wait, that's 30 FPS. Drive Club. Wait, that's not out yet. Assassin's... Oh, wait, no, that's on PC and much better. Like all the other fucking games. Like, what have you got? What have you got on either of those systems that makes me want to power up my console again? Last of Us Remastered is probably the only one, and Killer Instinct is the other one. So a free-to-play fighting game and a remake of a game you released last year. That's what you've got between you. All right.
Is Bloodborne console exclusive? Surely not.
It's PS4 exclusive. Yeah, PS4 exclusive.
Yeah.
Eventually, there'll be enough exclusives to warrant me playing them. I'll probably try and play Bloodborne, although apparently that's 30 FPS as well, so I don't know. We'll see. I soldiered through the original Dark Souls at 30 FPS. I can probably handle it. We'll see.
Sam and I are going to be fighting so hard over the PS4 when Bloodborne comes out. It's going to be really bad.
Just buy another one. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll just get a second one.
Go towards that goal of a PS4 in every room.
Yeah.
One in the toilet.
One in the toilet. One in the kitchen.
I'll have a reason to play my Vita soon because Freedom Wars is coming out, finally.
Yeah, Danganronpa 2 came out, and it still hasn't shown up here, and I'm kind of miffed at you,
do
Amazon.
realize you can buy games digitally now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I do know that.
You do?
But I ordered it. I bought the physical copy on Amazon. It's not here yet.
Why? Does it have a waifu pillow? Is that why?
Because I like putting things on a shelf.
It's tactile. The feel. I own this.
The boxes for Vita are shit though. I can't even find them because they're so damn small.
No, they're cute. They're tiny. They're tiny blue guys.
Yeah, you open them. There's this tiny little cartridge and nothing else. It's like, why is this even in a box?
Hold on, guys. I got you.
Although, given the price of the actual memory cards for the Vita, you're probably better off buying it.
Oh man,
that is crazy.
So cute.
What? And now open the box. Open the box. Show them what's in it. Nothing.
What a waste of time.
Fucking
what
nothing.
What the hell is that? Why?
To be fair, if they made the box this size, you'd fucking lose it.
Yeah, you would.
They have to still keep it at a size where you're not going to be like, where did it go?
Can't they just sell one massive box that has labels or something on it? And I don't know, just send you the cartridge and you can stick it in the big. But that just seems like a massive. I'd be pissed off if I got that. If I got anything like that size, opened it and saw something that small,
a piece of
I would
paper
just
and a tiny
immediately
little
feel
cartridge in
cheated.
it. Yeah.
A piece of just.
Why did I bother? Why did I bother with that? I don't buy physical games anymore. There's really no point.
There's still a part of me, aside from the aesthetic of liking things on a shelf, there's still a part of me that's like, what if suddenly just all my games are gone? What if they're just
but then you could
taken away from me
support and get them back.
Yeah, you gotta call customer support and then be on hold for days, and it's or I could just own it. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I know.
So much clutter.
I like that. You know what? It's been a very long time since I've actually bought a box version of a game, but I do keep them. The older ones I've got, some pretty old games, and it is nice to go through them every now and again.
Yeah, for stuff from the 90s.
Look at this.
Absolutely. But outside of that, no.
And you can sell physical games back, and you can't sell digital games back. So if you buy a game and you play it, and you're like, all right, well, I'm never gonna replay this, then you can take it in and sell it and get some dollars back.
I'm so desensitized that by Steam that I don't even care anymore.
Yeah, I don't give a shit anymore.
It's just I can sell it.
When's the last time I sold a game
that
back?
was a concept that even existed. Secondhand games, what are those?
I can't remember the last time I traded a game in.
I can.
Oh, there you go. Anything else in the news that we want to talk about? There was that trailer for Battlefield 4's final expansion that came out that apparently has mechs in it for some reason.
Right? Yes.
The final scene shows a mech lab of some sort.
If it's actual mechs, great. If it's not, then it's just going to be more Battlefield 4, which at this point is, it's all right. But there's no massive draw to go back to it, frankly, for me.
No, I don't think so. This should be of interest to Dodger. Sherlock Holmes will join the great Ace Attorney in the next Ace Attorney game.
Yeah, and apparently they're going to do Lady Watson, which I'm down for.
Yep.
It
introduces a
They're
new
going to
mechanic called
do
joint
Lady
reasoning.
Watson. In what
They're gonna
context
do
is that statement?
Lady
You're going to
Watson.
do Lady Watson. Hang on. What's happening to Lady Watson here?
Yep. This apparently does not. This is one of Phoenix Wright's great ancestors. Protagonist Ryanosuke Naruhado anime bullshit will investigate incidents. However, that doesn't seem to mean they're able to be together at all times. There's a detective part and then there's the court part, like there was, but apparently they use like both the characters to do it, and there's some mechanic which allows them both to work together to solve mysteries. I will play it because I play all of the Ace Attorney games. It's a bit of a weird departure, to say the least. But it's cool that they're also going back in time rather than forward. Because they've been increasingly adding...
it's nice that it's, like, yeah.
They've been increasingly adding more bullshit mechanics. Just like, I have a computer that monitors my mood and shit. Like, no. Can we just
can crack open your heart because of facial
magic
stuff, and I
they'll
can
probably
get
still
into
have
your
bullshit
brain
magic, though, will they? They'll probably put bullshit magic in it again. I don't know.
Oh, probably.
Maybe they'll be able to make it so that that's not the case. But it would just be nice for things to be a little bit more grounded in that series instead of, here is my Deus Ex Machina is some magical fucking computer device that lets me do all of this. It's like, no. Absolutely not. But it's cool that they're doing that, though. More Phoenix Wright is never bad. That's a series that can go on till the end of time, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm just waiting for Sherlock Holmes to appear in Soul Calibur. Then I'll be happy.
It's a Wii U exclusive. You get to play Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
Wii U.
He just shoots you with his mind palace. It'd be good.
Oh, no. Oh, dear. What else is there in the news? It's not brilliant news week.
It's just Destiny, isn't it? Non-stop Destiny.
Yeah, it was like Destiny.
Did you know?
Destiny.
Did you know there was a game out called Destiny?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I have heard of that.
Wow.
There's apparently rumors that Warner Brothers are attempting to launch a platform called Warner Brothers Play that is supposed to be a competitor to Steam and Origin.
Are they not something to do with Gauntlet as well? Are they not behind the Gauntlet remake? Is it Warner Brothers? The Magic devs are making it, aren't they? But isn't it something to do with Warner Brothers?
Well, I think it's published by Warner Brothers, yeah.
Yeah, published, yeah.
Well, Warner Brothers have published a shitload lately. But the concern, of course, is that this will have some kind of exclusivity involved in it. Like, oh, you can only play Batman Arkham Knight on Warner Brothers Play. I'm like, considering the last shit you did with the Arkham games, where you put them through Games for Windows Live, and then like a social club thing, and then you deleted my cloud saves, that I had to start my fucking game again. I don't trust your bullshit service, whatever that is.
I literally, because I had that game on console, and then somebody sent me a code for it on PC, and I was like, perfect, I would prefer to play this game on PC anyway. And it would not let me play it. Every time I played it, it would crash, and then not remember I had played it at all. And I was like, fuck you.
Yep. I had a similar problem with Splinter Cell, the new Splinter Cell. It kept deleting my fucking saves, and that was Uplay. It's like, god damn it.
Uplay is terrible for that. I really have a serious dislike for Uplay as a whole. I think I can't remember the last time I actually bought and played a game from there and didn't have something happen to it within a couple of days.
Uplay's had problems for a long time. Often it's the case that you have to log into Uplay after you've logged into Steam, so it's an extra link that can fail.
Retarded, that is,
yeah.
It's really damn annoying. Yeah, well, I mean
that's I mean, I can kind of see why Warner Brothers want to get into the whole having your own platform
they want more money,
thing, but
you know?
It's like I could really I could do without any more games where I buy them on one thing and then open them in that thing and then they open it in another thing and the save is on a different thing that doesn't work. And I mean, if they're going to do it, could they at least be nice to us and do it properly?
Well, it's fucking exclusivity again, isn't it? You know, it's the same argument. You're saying, all right, well, we're going to take our balls and we're gonna put them here instead of sharing our balls with everybody as nature intended.
Yes.
Yeah. Go on. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So we're gonna keep our balls to ourselves. We're gonna hide them from the world, and you only get access to our balls if you decide to come to our very specific little place and buy our balls right here. This is not a good analogy, but
no, it's bad.
It's taking your toys and fucking running home with them, right? And saying the only way you get to play our game is if you use our service to do it. And that's a bullshit way of competing as far as I'm concerned. Like, you want to compete with Steam? Then make a service that's better than Steam. Don't say, oh, well, I know you wanted to use Steam and all your games are on Steam, but no, our game's here because we say so.
Yeah.
It's like, that doesn't engender consumer goodwill. That's the exact opposite. We fucking hate you now because you did
That's
that.
why you play so puzzling, because it's like, it kind of looks like they were going to do that, but then you can still buy the games on Steam. But you still need Uplay. It's like, yeah,
So
we'll share
anyway.
our toys,
Yeah.
but we'll sell you the toy, then you've got to come round to our house to play it. What does that mean? I don't understand how it works. It's like,
I love
either
these
just have them on
metaphors. They're all
Uplay
so
or just don't have Uplay. Why? Oh,
Yes. Well, Ubisoft's a fucking lost cause when it comes to the DRM and online nonsense. We all know that. But it's good to see more competition in the scene, but I have a feeling the way the competition is going to come is that, hey, we're a publisher, so we're going to lock all our published games behind this program. And then we'll eventually, and we'll pull the shit that we did with Steam and say, you can't have our games. And then after they sell 3 copies, I guess you can have our games, but but you've got to have Uplay in there as well. I'm like...
yeah.
Oh, it's just annoying. It's so silly. Yes.
Just a reminder that I need to leave in 10 minutes.
Yes. Well, we're kind of wrapping up anyway. Is there any other news that we really want to talk about?
I've heard about this Destiny thing, but...
Oh, yeah, no, good about that.
Destiny's not fucking news, and we've already
Guys,
talked about it
how
anyway.
are you feeling about Destiny?
It's not news if we knew it was coming. Like, Oh, they did. They made that. They pulled up the date for the PC version of Shadow of Mordor, so it's now going to be released at the same time as the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and they're delaying the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions because apparently they're not up to scratch. Which is good news for PC gamers, because otherwise they would have had to wait extra time for no good fucking reason. So there you go. That's
good
nice.
news, provided it's good.
It might not be, but IGN says that I should be excited for it, and everyone knows that I listen when they say that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's clearly an unbiased article. There's nothing going on
They're
there.
giving it 10 out of 10 yet, or are they waiting for it to come out?
Well, I think they're going to have the common decency to wait until at least 4 weeks before the game comes out before they give it.
Would make a change.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. The logo looks nice.
Yeah. It's a good logo. It's all right.
King hell. Isn't Shadow's bloody Mordor Assassin's Creed in...
It's got a few interesting elements to
That's
it.
what I'm... Yeah.
It's like, it's a bit of hack and slash, bit of Assassin's Creed. Apparently the Nemesis system sounds interesting, but I don't know exactly how it works or how it will end up working in the long run, or whether or not it will just end up being a pain in the arse. I know, I'll play it, but we'll see. I know. I don't think the game's necessarily relevant, but we'll see what happens. I'll give it a bash. Why not?
They need to make Battle for Middle-earth 3. That's what they need to make.
Yes, they do. That was fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah, the iPhone 6 got announced, along with
and
an
the crazy
iOS,
watch thing.
And
an
the
iOS
watch.
MOBA. Yeah, oh, fuck the watch. Why would I want to charge my watch? Really? Like, you know what to do
They're
with a watch?
walkie-talkies, guys. There are no walkie-talkie apps that you could use. You gotta use your watch.
Yeah, that sounds brilliant. If only there was a way that I could use some kind of handheld portable device to communicate with other people. If only that was something. But thankfully, gods upon high come to bless us with mana from
device.
Apple heaven. Fucking.
Do you know what always makes me laugh with the Apple thing? When it's like, one more thing, and it's like the watch, and then you see the crowd, and they're like, oh my god, we can't believe this. This is blowing my mind. Oh, it's revolutionary. It's like, okay. There's actually been a Pebble smartwatch out for quite some time.
Yeah,
which is not that bad.
Smartwatches, I cannot understand why I would do that, because frankly, it's a tiny little fucking shitty screen. You know what I use a watch for? Telling the time. You know how it can't tell the time?
Yeah.
When it runs out of battery every fucking 5 hours. I don't want anything else. If I need anything else, I could pull my phone out of my pocket. I have a pocket. That was a wonderful invention that's just recently been brought to us by Apple. It's called the iPocket. What you do is you put things in it, and then you can take them out with ease. It's a portable transportation revolution, is what it is. It's just lovely. But apparently the iPhone 6 is supposedly powerful enough to rival current handheld consoles, which wouldn't be too difficult considering they are the Vita and the 3DS.
You know what makes me laugh about Apple? It's like, here you go. Here is our iPhone 6 Plus. It is 50 times more powerful than the first iPhone. It's like, oh, that's a great comparison you've made there. What does that even mean?
But how powerful is the first iPhone? I can't remember.
Fucking hell. Yeah, I
See
forgot
this
about
thing
it.
right
Years
here?
ago, I got no idea.
This right here is an i7 5th generation. It is 50 times more powerful than a Pentium 2 MMX. Like, nobody knows. That's bullshit.
Oh my god.
But like, to be frank, the problem with phones has never been power. Like,
no, they do not need any more power, do they?
They don't need any more graphical capability. They have shit batteries to begin with.
They need they need
battery life.
Bigger batteries.
And they don't have a control. They don't have controls. So like, oh great, you can rival the 3DS. Fantastic. Let me know which great core games you have that control well on your system. As I sit here playing threes, it's like, all right, great. You've managed to make something with one thumb control. Now can I use the rest of my fingers? No, because you don't have any controls and you've just got this bullshit little touchscreen that you just do this to. It's like my dog trying to get in through the window. All it does is it jumps up and it does this. It doesn't realize that it won't get anything done, but it does this. That's how I feel trying to play a touchscreen game. Yeah, that's actually Fruit Ninja. Yeah, let's have some action. Let's play a really awesome third-person character action game that requires precision of movement on a fucking touchscreen. Let's try and see how well that works. Oh wait, it fucking doesn't. And it never will. It never will. So the power is irrelevant, frankly.
But it's a card that's always played, isn't it? It's stupid. Yeah. It's like, look how powerful this is. It's just pointless.
But it's got a new hat.
To be honest, to me, the larger iPhone looks slightly okay, but that's only because I had a horrendous accident a few years ago where I was holding a metal spike and a sledgehammer was introduced to my thumb and absolutely smashed it to pieces. So it's very difficult for me to use. It's very difficult for me to use a small phone. But there are Galaxy Notes for such a problem.
Yes.
That was the thing that happened to me.
I don't think they were designed specifically for that, but the coincidence is nice.
I don't. You don't find me being particularly excited about that. But I'm not the sort of person that upgrades my Apple device. Well, I only have one Apple device. I have an iPad because it's pretty good. iPad's pretty good at what it does.
You've got an iPad Air?
Yeah, I've got an iPad Air. And I had an iPad 2, and then I eventually upgraded it to an Air, because I didn't feel the need to upgrade my iPad 2 to anything else until that came out. Like, now it's probably about time for an upgrade. The 2's getting pretty slow, and it was the difference between having a Retina resolution screen and not having a Retina resolution screen. So that was a decent thing up. But, like, would I upgrade an iPhone 5 to an iPhone 6 if I had it? No, I don't think so. Those things are fucking expensive. Why would I? Does it call things? Well, I suppose it's an iPhone, so maybe it doesn't. But does the new version call things? Do the calls actually work? If so, I might be tempted to buy it. Or I could get a different phone that works. That would be all right.
We could buy a watch. A watch phone thing.
Watch phone. I'll tell you what. You want to impress me, Apple? Get me a little com badge that I can tap on and say, contact engineering. There we go. The Apple com badge.
Instantly.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That I would do.
Great.
Yeah.
That can't be hard, right?
Yeah. Picard to Seri, go ahead, Captain. Do that, and I'll buy it in a heartbeat. But until you do that, I don't care. All right, let's wrap up the show, because you need to leave in like 2 minutes. So we're skipping releases. There's only one release anyway. It's Destiny. Fuck everything else.
Destiny.
Right. Destiny.
Destiny's out.
Go play Destiny, etc.
Go play Destiny. Oh, don't. Wait for the PC version. Probably better. All right. Shoutouts. Dodger, what are you doing this week?
Okay, so I do a news show every week. I do Welcome to the Fandom, and Swords and Stitches is coming back pretty soon here, and then I do some gamey stuff and some streams. Woohoo! Fantastic. I have 2 channels, Press Hard to Continue, and I have Dexterity Bonus, and on all the social medias, I'm at DexBonus, DEXBONUS. You should come hang out with me. The end.
Wonderful. John and Tom, you both work at the same channel, conveniently.
In that case, I'm going to let you do the talking. No, I nominated you.
Yeah, no, okay. So follow us on Twitter, which is at Unilost Gaming and at Kiri for Kiri. On our channel, we do a show called Hotfix, which is kind of like a topical debate thing. We generally find a topic.
The name I wanted. Fuckers.
Yes, it's such an amazing name. It's a great show. I'd highly recommend you watch it, ladies and gentlemen. There's very sort of madness that goes on our channel. There is a Sims series, which is the British royal family in Sims 4, which is just fucking us being stupid. There's generally a lot of that going on. We don't really take ourselves very seriously. What's that?
Are they pregnant again yet? Apparently that's the only news in the UK right now.
Yes.
Yeah, the Queen is pregnant in our series.
Wow, fuck, that's impressive. The wonders of modern medical technology.
Shut up, TV. Twitch.tv/Unit Lost. Go there, because that's our stream. And I tell you what, I might be streaming a little bit of Destiny after this. So there you go.
Cool.
There you go.
Find me, as usual, on Cynical Brit, and there will be videos. And some of them will be complaining, and some of them will be less complaining. You can find me on Twitter at TotalBiscuit. that's pretty much it. You've been watching the Crop Show podcast. Thank you very much for watching, folks, and goodbye.
Bye.
Yes, goodbye.
Bye.
do 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 do